And welcome back to the Upside Sports Network. My name is Michael. Appreciate you guys joining us on a Sunday afternoon. Yankees versus Rangers. Yankees, of course, won the opener of this series. Rangers, of course, have won the last two. DeGrom has gone on the 15-day IL for the first time with the Texas Rangers. We'll discuss that a little bit. No Aaron Judge, it looks like, for this one as well. But we'll get into that during the game as well. Thank you guys for joining us once again. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. Alrighty, let's start off by where kind of things stand right now as we get set for the game anyway. We're a few minutes away from first pitch anyway. Tampa Bay, of course, got off to a great start to their season. They're 25-3. They're setting the pace for Major League Baseball right now. Yankees currently sit in 4th place in the American League East. Kind of figured to be a tough division, and so far it has proven to be a very difficult division. The Baltimore Orioles have gotten off to a very nice start, 18-9. Toronto, another nice start, 18-9. Got to wonder how much of that quick start Tampa Bay got off to is about their schedule and how far back they'll come back into the pack. Yankees kind of so-so start anyway. They've had some mixed performances performances as far as their starting pitching is concerned. Kind of figured that would be the case when they came into the season. We'll see if they're able to get consistent performances out of that rotation for the entire season, and if they're able to stay healthy in that starting staff. New York Mets on the NL side have not been able to stay healthy, so we'll see if one New York team can stay healthy. For the Texas Rangers, they've gotten off to a great start. Nobody expected them to be first place in their division to start off the season. They've gotten off to a very nice start offensively. I think that's a little bit of a fluke. We'll get into that a little bit as well. But they're off to a 16-11 start. They had a four-game skid there against the Cincinnati Reds in the opener against the Yankees, but have since won 2 straight. They're a few games on top of the Houston Astros as they enter play today. 2 games up on the Astros. Angels, of course, sit in third place at 500 record. Seattle's gotten off to a poor start, and now they're going to be without one of their top starting pitchers, Robbie Ray, for the remainder of the season. He is going to be out after having surgery. The Oakland A's, probably the worst team in all of Major League Baseball, possibly in all of Major League Baseball history. Just look how bad they've been. Their run differential so far, and it's not even been a full month, is 118 runs down. I mean, their pitching's been bad. Their hitting hasn't been much better as well. So we'll see if they're going to be able to even win 40 games this year, let alone, say, 50 or 60. But they're going to be in the cellar the rest of the year in the AL West. Looking at the game today, it's going to be Nestor Cortez for the New York Yankees, opposed by Martin Perez for the Texas Rangers. Yankees roll out a lineup of Volpe at shortstop, the rookie. They got Peraza at third base today. No Donaldson there, no LeMahieu right now, or at least in that spot today. He's going to instead start at first base, but Rizzo's going to be your designated hitter, moving down one spot in the lineup from yesterday's game. LeMahieu is going to be your first baseman batting cleanup. Again, no Aaron Judge today. Gleyber Torres is at second, Cabrera's in right. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, kind of the do-it-all utility knife anyway for the New York Yankees this year. He's going to be in center today. Higashioka gets the start behind the plate, and Aaron Hicks is in left. Bowers, the guy who started yesterday for the Yankees, had a big crash into the wall yesterday after he was called up, and he is not available for the game, it looks like, today. But looking at the Rangers side of things, Martin Perez is their starter. Marcus Semien once again starts off things for the Rangers, followed by Robbie Grossman. Looks like Travis Jankowski, who's gotten a very nice start for the Rangers this year, hitting over 300 so far this year. He's kind of taken over that 2 spot with Corey Seager on the IL. Nathaniel Lowe is your first baseman. He's kind of had an up and down season so far. I think they really need to give him some time off, at least a day or so. I think he just needs a kind of reset right now. He's hitting about 252, but he just doesn't look like himself in the box, much like he doesn't look like he did at the end of last year. It looks like he's changed his approach a little bit, but nobody has changed their approach more in Major League Baseball than Adolis Garcia, the Rangers right fielder. Will dig into some of his approach and how it's changed this year. He's hitting 255, has a whole bunch of runs batted in, great slugging so far this year for the Rangers. Josh Young has had a nice start to his career with the Texas Rangers this season. Struggled a little bit as of late anyway. Strikeouts have been a little bit of a problem, but he's had a nice start at least for someone who hasn't had a whole lot of Major League Baseball experience and somebody who had coming off of a major injury last season. Jonah Heim again behind the plate with Mitch Garver on the injured list. Jonah Heim's pretty much starting 4 out of 5 games, and even on that 5th day, he's still getting the call. So he's pulling a lot of time right now for the Rangers. He was hitting about 320 about a week and a half ago. I'm wondering if all this time behind the plate right now for Jonah Heim is just kind of sapping some of that average and some of that slug a little bit, and wondering if he's starting to wear down a little bit and needs a day off. But day game after a night game, I probably would have started Sandy Leon if I'm the Rangers manager, but he wants to go ahead and trot out Jonah Heim today and try to get the series victory. Understandably, Sandy Leon is not the bat that Jonah Heim is, but I mean, he is a good veteran catcher. He's there for a reason, so I would have started him in that place. Ezekiel Duran, one of the Yankees' former top prospects who came over in that Joey Gallo deal, he was the reason why the Rangers won yesterday. He's filling in right now for Corey Seager along with Josh Smith. But last night he hit the 2-run home run, the longest home run he's ever hit in Major League Baseball. Just a great day, great last 8 games or so for Ezekiel Duran. Has multiple hits in 4 of the last 8 games he's played in. Bubba Thompson gets the start in left field over Travis Jankowski today. No Brad Miller in the lineup today as well. And in center field, Leody Taveras is back in the outfield. Leody, of course, missed the first few games of the season due to injury. That's kind of why Travis Jankowski made the Rangers roster, and things could not have worked out better. In games Travis Jankowski has played in, the Rangers have a very high winning percentage right now, so we'll see if they're able to bring him on later in the game as a pinch runner, maybe a bat late in the game when they need to bring in a left-handed hitter, those kinds of things. But it looks like Martin Perez is set to go. 5 starts this year, pitched 27 and 2/3 innings so far this year. Has a 5-pitch mix, 2-seam fastball, changeup, cutter, 4-seam fastball, and a slider. Looks like we're just about ready for first pitch here as he takes his final few tosses here. But Perez has kind of been the stalwart in the Rangers rotation for the better part of a year now. Last year he was really overperformed his contract, 1 year, $4 million, parlayed that into a qualifying offer that he went ahead and accepted this offseason. Turned down a multi-year offer from the LA Angels in hopes of betting on himself and getting a much bigger contract this offseason. I think he's picturing himself as Carlos Rodon, how Rodon kind of bet on himself with the Giants last year, parlayed that into a massive contract with the New York Yankees. He kind of was their big free agent acquisition on the New York side of things. For the Rangers, it was Jacob deGrom. It was bringing back Martin Perez. It was Nate Eovaldi, who pitched a complete game shutout, his third ever complete game in his Major League Baseball career for Nathan Eovaldi. And first pitch, strike one. And we are set in Arlington. Yankees come in 15 and 13. Rangers come in 16 and 11. Volpe hitting .216 on the year, has a couple home runs and 8 RBIs. Fouls that one back on the pitch down and in, and it's quickly 0-2. .28 games so far for the rookie. He's got some lofty standards to live up to in New York. A lot of great shortstop play over the years. This one's off the end of the bat, flared out into left. Few steps in is Thompson, and makes the catch, one away. The name of the game yesterday for the Rangers with Nathan Eovaldi was just keeping that pitch count down. The most stressful inning he had was really in that third inning. He only pitched 17 pitches, though. But overall, he just kind of was able to get him up and put him down. I think he only gave up 3 hits in the game total. His second ever complete game shutout, his third ever complete game. Another one paints the corner. That's one thing with Martin Perez. He really paints that corner, in and outside. He leads all of Major League Baseball since the beginning of last season with most strikeouts looking. Got to think some of that is with the catching job that Jonah Heim has done, one of the best framers behind the plate today. That one misses ball 1-1. Up and in, 2-1 now. This one's laced right back through the box and into center. Nice piece of hitting there by Peraza. And he is aboard. Major League Baseball has the pitch clock this year, of course, larger bases. So stolen bases are a lot higher this season so far. We'll see if we see some running today from the New York Yankees lineup, especially with no Aaron Judge in the lineup to really get things going for them. Look at that score there. Blue Jays and Mariners 8-4, and they're only in the third inning. Anthony Rizzo hitting .293, digging in. First pitch right on the inside corner. Martin Perez is great at that, just placement of that pitch. Greg Maddux, brother of Mike Maddux, the Rangers pitching coach, spoke with the team earlier this offseason, just as they were about to break spring training. I'd say nobody gives you more of what Greg Maddux does in Major League Baseball right now than what Martin Perez does. Greg Maddux was always known for his location and control, and nobody in Major League Baseball is better at that than Martin Perez when he is on. Got to think having Greg Maddux in his corner over the last year or so, or well, this year anyway, and then in previous years when Mike Maddux was the Rangers pitching coach years ago, that it certainly helps out to have a guy like that to learn from. This one's flied out to right. Adolis jogs over and makes the catch. 2 away, and Peraza goes back to first. Here comes LeMahieu. Struck out looking in the first yesterday and did not like that at all. So we'll see if he's a little bit more aggressive with the bat starting off the game today. Martin Perez, when he's throwing strikes, is very effective. So far, 11 pitches and 9 strikes as this one. First pitch to LeMahieu is grounded to short. Duran is up with it and flips to first for the third out. Very good inning for the Texas Rangers. 1-2, well, not 1-2-3, but a single there, followed by some quick outs there by the Yankees hitters. And we're on to the bottom half of the first. We're kind of checking in on some of the standings from around Major League Baseball, some other teams that have gotten off to really poor starts besides the Oakland A's. You got to look at the Chicago White Sox, a team that had a lot of juice coming into the season, a lot of reason to be excited, some good starting pitching. They got 1 through 5 pretty much solved, and they just haven't been able to either A, put it together all in one game, whether it be pitching and hitting, or just be able to get enough runs across. I mean, sure they do. They don't have Liam Hendricks right now because of the diagnosis he had this offseason. He has been announced that he is cleared of that now, but I think it's going to be too little too late. Right now they are 14 games under 500, and they look like a team that's probably going to be a seller at the deadline, someone we did not expect to be a seller in that division. So just looking at it, they even have the Detroit Tigers to look up at in the standings right now, and things are just not looking good for the White Sox. So I know we got a few White Sox fans that have joined us over the past few months, so sorry, Matt and Zach, I know you're one of them. Your White Sox have not gotten off to a good start, so we'll see if they can turn it around. Twins, we kind of expected to take this division along with the Guardians to kind of be right at the tip top. The one surprise, of course, again, was that White Sox team. Minnesota, of course, has a really good starting staff now with Pablo Lopez kind of taking over that number 1 spot in their rotation. Looks like we're just getting back from commercial break. Again, it'll be Simeon, Grossman, Lowe, followed by Garcia, Young, and Heim. Duran, Thompson, and Taveras is your Rangers lineup today. Nestor Cortez, the lefty, is on the mound today. That's why there's no Travis Jankowski for the Rangers in their lineup, as they go with their kind of the right-handed platoon out there in left. The one thing the Rangers front office and ownership told us they were going to do is add a middle-of-the-order bat this year, and they have not done that. They brought in Robbie Grossman. They brought in Travis Jankowski. Neither one of those are going to drive in 100 RBIs or anything like that. So I wonder if the Rangers realized that they had a chance to go out there and get Nathan Eovaldi a couple days after Christmas and decided we're going to spend the money there in our starting staff and take our prospects and trade for what we need at the deadline for whoever's hitting the ball the best at the deadline. The 1-0 pitch to Simeon is flied out to deep left, hangs up in the air quite a while, and he is the first out of the game for the Rangers. Quick out there for the Rangers. That's one thing Simeon's been doing is he's been attacking the ball a little quicker, trying to ambush the fastball early in counts, and it's worked to some success so far this year, but I wonder if he needs to change up his approach just a little bit, much like we saw Corey Seager last year, ambushing fastballs early in the count. While he had a decent year, it was not necessarily a Corey Seager type year last year, and I wonder with the hot start Marcus Semien got off to, if this was more to correct the bad start that he had last year, to try to get ahead early, and now maybe as we get into the May, June, July months, he may change up his approach. Grossman now ahead 2-1. Switch hitter batting from the right side today because of the lefty Cortez. Grossman hitting .250, got off to a nice start on opening day, or the first couple of games of the season, but really fell into a swoon for the better part of 3 weeks, is finally starting to come out of it, raising his batting average by over 50 points. It's nice when you can do that early in the season. The 3-1 is right on the outside corner, called a strike there. 3-2. Ooh, Grossman thought that one was a ball. Just about tossed the bat, but didn't give it the heave-ho. The 3-2 pitch. Cortez looked like he tried to get the, looks like a slider, I want to say. He tried to get it back over the outside corner, tried to get the back door on it, and couldn't quite get it there. You can see Cortez a little animated on that one. Not happy with how he tossed that one, it looks like. Cortez will definitely tell you how he thinks he's doing on the mound. Not exactly the poker player on the mound that you think most starting pitchers are nowadays. Nate Lowe digs in. That one up at the eyes, 1-0. If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit that like as well. Going to start getting back into some of these lives with you guys. We may even do Game 7 tonight of the NHL playoffs. But primarily we'll be focusing on baseball for the remainder of the baseball season anyway. Draft was the other day. Hopefully you guys had your favorite team get the player you wanted. 3-0 now, as that one misses beneath the zone. Cortez missing with a lot of his pitches right now. 11 pitches, only thrown 3 strikes so far. Brito yesterday for the Yankees got off to a nice start there, but that 2-run home run by Duran, and then they went to the bullpen after the 5th. They got a great performance out of the bullpen, don't get me wrong, but Brito seemed to be commanding that ball a lot better than Cortez is so far today. That one's kind of a get-me-over fastball, 3-1. And back-to-back walks as that one misses beneath the zone. That one a little bit closer, but does not get the call. And Rangers have something cooking here, first and second with only 1 out. And the Rangers' best hitter so far to start the season in Adolis Garcia. Garcia had the 3 home run game about a week ago with a couple of doubles in that game as well. Set so many records with his performance in that one. He's been a lot more patient of a hitter, but he doesn't show it there. Looks like he was swinging for the seats to try to get a crooked number up on the scoreboard there, and it's 0-1. Nice pitch there by Cortez. Just off the inside corner. Garcia has 7 home runs and 29 RBIs as that one misses up high, 1-1. Came over from the Cardinals a few years ago and really saw his career take off the second he got to the Rangers. Consistent playing time certainly helps out. Check swing fouled back to the screen, and it's 1-2. This season with runners in scoring position, hitting .368, 3 doubles, 3 home runs, and 22 RBIs. The Rangers have done really well with runners in scoring position this year. It's one thing the Yankees are going to have to be mindful of, not to just groove fastballs over the middle of the plate. As that one misses down. Not quite in the dirt, but smothering it all the same as Higashioka. And it's 2-2. Josh Young is on deck, as long as he's able to avoid a double play here. The 2-2 pitch. Fly down the right field line. Is this going to get down? It does, in front of the right fielder. But it hung up long enough. I wonder if they're going to be able to score a run. Just back into first base ahead of the throw is Garcia, as the right fielder threw it into first. But because that ball hung up and the right fielder had looked like he had a chance on it, Grossman was not able to get around and score. It'll be up to Josh Young to do that. That's one thing we've seen from the Rangers. They've been a little bit more cautious with their approach. I think that's kind of a symptom of what happened early on in the season when Tony Beasley had a couple of runners thrown out at the plate when he was a little bit aggressive to start the season, trying to get runners across. The Rangers have done a nice job of being able to drive in runners, so he's been more willing to hold up on those runners and see if they can go ahead and drive them in. The roof is open today in Arlington. Bases loaded here. Got a stressful inning here already for Cortez as the crowd gets a little loud now. Young hitting .260 on the year. That one, Ump says that caught the corner, but it looks like it was about 2 or 3 inches outside. 25 games so far for Young after taking a ball off, hit by pitch off the hand about 3 or 4 days ago. Still hitting .260, 5 home runs, 16 RBIs. That one up at the eyes, 1-1. Cortez still looks like he's struggling with his command here in the first. See if he can settle that command down just a little bit. Another one just off the outside corner, called a strike again. Getting the call there. Cortez needed that one though, and he's ahead 1-2. There's still only 1 out here. Young didn't like that one. That one just off the outside corner. this season, Young is hitting 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. That doesn't seem right. He had a, I think that graphic is wrong they have on the screen right now. I think he's come up with a lot more opportunities. This one's flied out into right, going back on it all the way to the wall. That's a grand slam, Josh Young. Grand slam, his first career grand slam, and it's 4-0 Rangers. Wow. 368 feet, 101 off the bat, 29-degree launch angle. I wasn't sure that had enough carry on it, but what a nice job of hitting by Josh Young there. And it's a crooked number on the scoreboard for the Rangers here in the first inning. Got to wonder if they're going to see a pitching or a mound visit here for Cortez to get his command back under control. But that caught way too much of the plate, I think, for what Cortez was hoping for. But they're not going to go out there. They're just going to let him go. This one misses up and away again, 1-0. One game does not a season make, but there's been a few games so far this year that we've seen the Yankees starters have struggled with their command. Brito struggled mightily with that against the Minnesota Twins earlier this year. He didn't make it out of the first inning of that one. Had a nice performance yesterday, though. Heim, the switch hitter, batting from the right-hand side, is ahead 3-0 now. That one up and in, finds the zone, 3-1. The Rangers up 4-0 here in the bottom of the first, and still only one out. The 3-1. Ooh, right in his red zone right there. Inner half, belt high. Fouled it back though. Heim did not miss that by much. As they show the replay of Josh Young's home run. Got a few rows back into that right field bleachers. This one's hammered, but looks like it got off the end of the bat. Looks like he got out in front just a little bit, and it's an easy fly ball there for for Hicks. You can see Heim is kind of shaking his hand on that one. Looks like it caught the very end of the bat. And that's a little bit better, at least for Cortez, that he's missing the barrel now. Ezekiel Duran with that huge home run yesterday. This season hitting .310 over his last week or so. He's really raised that average, though. He's raised it from about a 200 average to .310. Has a couple of home runs, 10 RBIs. He has a .982, I think, OPS over the last 8 games. That one misses north of the zone, 1-1. Duran looking to do more damage against the team that traded him for Joey Gallo. Cortez misses again, up and away. Cortez up to 32 pitches so far. Only 14 of them have been strikes. Got to think with 4 innings of work out of their bullpen yesterday, they want to see if Cortez can get a little bit more length today. That way we don't have to burn a whole bunch of arms out of that bullpen once again. Duran goes ahead and takes time here after swinging and missing on that one, and it's 2-2. And the pitch by Cortez. Nice off-speed pitch down and away, right on the bottom of the zone, and swung on and missed by Duran for the 3rd out of the inning. But the damage has been done. 4-0 Rangers after 1. Rangers certainly did their job as far as improving their starting rotation this year. Basically an entirely new starting rotation with the only holdovers being Perez, who they had to re-sign with that qualifying offer, and John Gray. But they brought in Andrew Heaney, who got the loss in Game 1 of this series. DeGrom was removed after 3 2/3 of the game on Friday night. He's got some stiffness, a little bit of inflammation in that elbow, but Rangers are being very cautious with him to start things off in this year. You want to see him perform in the second half of the season and in October for you. If you're the Rangers, you're not really worried about a game in April, so you don't want to have a major injury as he tries to overcompensate for some soreness or something like that. with DeGrom, he's a pitcher that needs to have, basically perfect mechanics and those kinds of things. Otherwise, he starts having other injuries. So keeping these injuries or keeping that stiffness to only being stiffness or only being inflammation is a whole lot better than having him out for 6 months. So the Rangers will gladly take that trade any day. But he's been dominant when he's been out there so far this year. The one surprising thing is their bullpen got off to such a great start, and then over the past week and a half, they've really faltered. We figured that would be the case, though. They didn't really do anything to address their need in the bullpen for a closer, so everybody's still jockeying for position back there. There's really no solidified answers out there right now. They started the year with Jose Leclerc as their closer, but he's struggled at moments out of that bullpen with location, command, control. They brought in Will Smith. He's also alternated with Leclerc in that closing role. He's had his issues as well. Gave up the home run to the Oakland A's. Youngster Jordan Davis, I want to say was his name, hit the game-winning home run in the 9th inning to the game I went to last week, or a week and a half ago now. But Perez misses with that one. Huge swing by Torres, and it's 1-1. Just off the plate. I'm not sure which one's correct. Oh, okay. Looks like this one's correct. The broadcast had the count wrong. It is 1-2, as that one missed just off the plate. Perez, the lefty. Well off the plate that time, and it's 2-2. Orioles, you see, take the lead there 4-2 over the Tigers. Cabrera hitting .244 so far this year, as this one's popped up behind second base. Coming in is Garcia, and he makes the catch. Simeon looked like he lost it in the sun up there. It is a very bright day in Texas. Got some good weather for once, so they got the roof open today. Had a lot of rain down in the south, a lot of tornadoes as well. Luckily, no significant damage as of yet. But certainly storm season right now. Just absolute paint there by Perez right on the outside corner, and is ahead 0-1 to Cabrera. Hitting 207, or 211, excuse me. 1 home run, 7 RBIs. This one's lasered out to right, but Garcia is there. They got to fix their graphics. I think that's the second time they've had the wrong graphic on the mound, or on the TV. They're showing the injury to DeGrom. Looks like it was more of a little bit of a pain in his elbow. Nothing major, it looks like. And they went ahead and did the MRI. No structural damage. Just a little bit inflamed is what they said. Wonder if this is more of a symptom of the stiffness that he had 2 starts ago against the Royals. IKF digs in, hitting 174 this year. No homers, 2 RBIs. This one's grounded to third. Young, plenty of time. Tosses to first. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. Yanks go quickly. It'll be Thompson, Taveras, and Simeon once again in the bottom half of the 2nd for the Rangers. If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help us out. We're going to try to do Game 7 tonight of the Colorado Avalanche versus the Seattle Kraken. So if you're a hockey fan, make sure you join us for Game 7 tonight. Should be a fascinating one. As you guys probably know, I'm a Stars fan, so I'll have a keen interest in the winner of this one, because the winner will face the Dallas Stars in the next series. I know I have a slight rooting interest for who I would prefer if I was a Dallas Stars player, but honestly, it's whoever's in front of you. If you're the Stars, you just got to keep going through them. Jake Ottinger gets his first series win against the Minnesota Wild in round 1. He's been nothing short of stellar since he entered the league. But so far in today's game, Rangers 4-0. Cortez has struggled with command in the first inning. We'll see if he's got a little bit better command coming here into the second. Yankees are certainly going to have to get some length out of Cortez, you'd think, today after burning through a little bit of their bullpen yesterday. Bubba Thompson's going to be coming up, hitting 233. Taveras is in center. He's going to be your second hitter in the bottom half of the second, hitting 216. He's certainly started to turn things around a little bit for himself at the plate after getting off to a poor start through the first 6 games of the season for him. He's only been up at the major league level for about 2.5 weeks now. But we talked a little bit about how the Rangers have really been scoring runs at will so far this season, but they've been doing it with players that are having career years. Travis Jankowski has got to be up there. You got to consider the other pieces in the lineup they're pretty much cashing in on every opportunity they get. They have really high percentages with runners in scoring position. Some of that's got to fall back to the pack, you'd think. The Rangers do have a good offense, but they could be so much better. They're at least one more good hit or good bat in that lineup away from having kind of a murderer's row, if you will, in that lineup. I was an advocate this offseason of them adding a corner outfielder. I still think they could because their DH spot right now is kind of a revolving door of whoever they want to put in there. This one's hit hard, high down the left field line, but well foul. Gets into the third deck. Thompson is more of a speedster, not known much for his power. He was a 3-sport athlete in high school, 2-sport athlete in college, I believe. This one paints the inside corner, and it's 1-2. Cortez looks like he's got a little bit better command. This one tries to entice a swing from Thompson, but misses beneath the zone, 2-2. Good eye there by Thompson. Tries to go right back to it, and it's now 3-2. Cortez is just missing down a little bit. Looks like more of his vertical stuff, top to bottom, is not working for him so far today. This will be his 40th pitch anyway. Swung on and missed on a fastball pretty much right down the middle. Thompson probably looking for something a little bit different there, but he foul tips it into the catcher's mitt, and that'll be a strikeout for Cortez. His second of the game. It'll be Leody Taveras up first, or up second anyway. Takes a fastball right down the middle once again, and it's 0-1. No home runs so far this year, 5 RBIs. Last year had a great first half of the season, really struggled in the second half with the bat. The year before that really struggled, I mean mightily, like below 100 average. So we'll see if Taveras can get back to his production that he had in the first half of last year. See if he learned some things. That one misses down in the dirt, 1-2. It's kind of the next step for growth for Taveras. Kind of see if he's learned something, see if he can continue to move forward with his approach at the plate. Batting from the right side today. Switch hitter takes that one outside, and it's now 2-2. Pops this one up. Looks like it's going to be LeMahieu. Nope, Volpe is able to get it. Looked like he may have lost it in the sun, but is able to make the play. 2 away, and it'll be up to Marcus Semien to keep things going for the Rangers in the bottom of the second. Now remember, he's been swinging early in the count a lot more than usual. We'll see if he does so again. That one doesn't give him a chance as that one's way down and outside. Never really had a chance to be a competitive pitch on that one. Cortez is almost to 50 pitches through 2 innings so far, though. That one misses well north of zone, 2-0. Last 19 games for Semien, hitting .311 with 9 extra base hits and 20 RBIs. Rangers have several hitters in that top 5 right now as far as driving in runs to start the season. That one misses low and away again, and it's quickly 3-0. We'll see if he gets the green light here. And it's a 4-pitch walk. Semien gets the 2-out walk here. Something you never want to see as a pitcher. giving away a free base. Now, if this was Corey Seager coming up, that would have a lot more fear into the heart of a starting pitcher, but it is Robbie Grossman. Last time he did work a walk. Nathaniel Lowe on deck. Rangers already up 4-0. Strike one. Oh, wow. Simeon was way out in front on that one, and he stole that base easily. He could have stole it standing up, honestly. That wasn't even close. Now he's on second base. Base hit scores him. Went on first move. The pitch was a strike, though. This one misses well inside, and it's 1-1. Fourth stolen base of the year for Simeon. 10-game hitting streak right now for Robbie Grossman. That's the longest streak currently in Major League Baseball. Wow. That's a called strike. That was a good 3 inches above the zone, up near the eyes of Grossman, but he gets the call. Mystifying there. 1-2. Popped foul, and it remains 1-2. Grossman staying alive. Looks like Simeon was off with the pitch on that one, too. Trying to steal third. The 1-2 once again. Kind of a excuse me swing, fouled off. Still 1-2. Cortez up to 54 pitches, starting to throw a few more strikes anyway. You can see the Rays and White Sox have now tied the game 1-1. The 1-2 pitch. Another one beneath the zone, this one on the inner half of the plate. He hadn't really gone to that spot yet today, but once again he misses just a little low. Looks like they're not going to give that very low or the low corners right now. The 2-2 pitch. Off speed, right down the middle. Kind of looked like a slow curveball, if you will, and swung on and missed by Grossman. Cortez gets out of it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Yankees. 4 runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Rangers, and we go to the top of the 3rd inning. We're checking in on some of the standings from around Major League Baseball. Touched a little bit on the American League side. On the NL side, Braves again have gotten off to another nice start, 18-9. The one thing the Mets, they've gotten off to a decent start so far, but the biggest thing for them is they just haven't been able to stay healthy. Right now, Kodai Senga is pretty much having to carry that starting staff. Verlander, of course, not been available. Scherzer has his issues now. And the rest of that starting staff pretty much hanging by a thread. But right now they're 15-12. Pete Alonso absolutely mashing the ball for them. Part of the reason why they're above 500 at the moment. Miami Marlins, a little bit of a surprise that they've gotten off to a good of a start as they did. The trade that they made, Pablo Lopez for Luis Arraez, certainly helping work wonders for their offense. Their pitching staff a little bit worse off, but they're hitting leaps and bounds better. Luis Arraez is off to one of the best starts in Major League Baseball history. I think he was hitting 500 through the first 3 weeks of the season. But Philadelphia got off to a horrible start, but they've rebounded nicely. They're up to 15-13 right now, and it sounds like Bryce Harper could be back sooner than was originally thought, as you see the Rays take a 2-1 lead. And we see in the cellar, of course, Washington 9-17, about what we were expecting coming into the season. One team that we certainly did not expect to get off to this great of a start is the Pittsburgh Pirates. We're going to have several of their games over the next month, but we should see, how the rest of the season goes for them. And they haven't even gotten their top prospects in there, and they've been without O'Neal Cruz with this nice streak that they've been on. 20-8 to start the season. Milwaukee's been about as good as advertised, 18-9. The Cubs a little bit better than advertised, but they've certainly fallen back to the pack a little bit over the last 10 days or so. 14-13 now. Dansby Swanson seems to be just the magic tonic for them, but they're kind of coming back a little bit. Cincinnati just swept the Rangers. That's why their record is a little bit higher than I would have thought at 12-15. But they certainly performed well, walking off all 3 games versus the Rangers. The Cardinals, that's the other surprise. We thought that the Pittsburgh Pirates and Cardinals had pretty much flip-flopped positions in this division. That we thought the Cardinals would be very good, but so far they just haven't been able to get anybody out. Perez 2-0 gets a ground ball here to Higashioka and one away. But the Cardinals are 10-18. We'll see if they can rebound a little bit. They've won 3 of their last 10 games, so they're going to have to solve their pitching staff before they get anything else done. The other big surprise is that the Arizona Diamondbacks lead it after about a month in the NL West. Do I expect them to hold on? No, but they've certainly played above their heads. The Padres certainly expect to get up a little bit higher. You see the Twins have now taken a 6-0 lead against the Royals as Aaron Hicks digs in, hitting 125 on the year. Only 1 RBI. He's played in 16 games. He's a candidate to be DFA'd at some point. But the Diamondbacks certainly have gotten off to a nice start. Dodgers 15-13, only a game back. They've had some ups and downs. They're a little bit less potent in their lineup without Trey Turner in there. Their starting staff could use another arm at some point with all the departures they've had over the past couple of years. Perez just misses the outside corner, and it's now 1-2 to Hicks. And the Padres, as we mentioned, they got Fernando Tatis Jr. back. Just going to be a matter of time until that team starts clicking, and they were able to tread water early in the season. They're at 500 after getting off to a poor start, and it looks like they could be set up for a nice run here in May and June. So keep your eyes peeled for what the Padres could be set to do over the next month or two. Giants, about where we expected them to be, 11-15. They've got some good, some bad parts of their lineup right now. I imagine they'll be a seller at the deadline. That one misses well outside, and it's 3-2. The Rockies got off to a couple of wins early in the season, but they've quickly fallen back. It's now 8-20 for them. They will be a team that sells as well. The question will be is how good does Chris Bryant play in his recovery from injury from last year, and is he going to be eligible for a trade as we get into the summer months. Nice base hit there by Aaron Hicks. Drives that one in between the shortstop and third base hole. Martin Perez setting up a double play once again. He pretty much has always been great at setting up double plays. Pretty much led Major League Baseball for the better part of his career since he's joined Major League Baseball in inducing double plays. Welcome in Jose. Bryce just days away from returning. Yeah, I'm excited to see how healthy he is and how impactful he is. Volpe tries to square around a bunt, pulls it back, but it's still called a strike. 0-1. Reached base in 14 of his last 16 starts anyway. Has a couple home runs, 8 RBIs, and 11 walks during that stretch. This one's going to be in the gap and just over the outstretched glove of Garcia. He's going to dig for 2. We'll see if this does play to run. It does not. Hicks looked like he had to hold up for that one. Volpe's looking at him like, come on, man, you should have scored on that. But what if Garcia had caught it? That's why Hicks had to hold up. But nice effort there by Garcia. Looks like he missed it by maybe an inch or 2. Nice effort, though. You can see the base running here of Hicks. He had to hold up, and then go. Is not the most fleet of foot guy at this point in his career, due to injuries and age at this point. But it will be Peraza up next. That's Volpe's 3rd double of the season. Misses inside just off the plate. Mets-Braves game postponed for the 2nd straight day. Phillies can take advantage of that and gain a game in the standings and go for the sweep of the Astros in the process. Yeah, they'll play the game eventually, though. Phillies have done a nice job rebounding from their horrible start, as I mentioned. I'm just curious to see if they're able to keep this going or if they're going to need some starting pitching as they get towards the trade deadline. I think they still need at least one more arm in that staff, much like they did last year. Last year they went a little bit cheaper with Noah Syndergaard as far as performance, as prospects, capital, etc. This one misses, and it's 3-0. Rizzo is on deck. A little bit slower of a runner, so maybe they're just trying to pitch around Peraza here. Yankees 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position so far in this series. This one's right down Broadway, 3-1. Little tapper. This will get a run home. Young fields it, throws out the runner at first, but it does plate the runner. It is now a 4-1 ball game. Thank you, Zachary. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate that. It's been going pretty well. Got a decent crowd with us. Feel free to send us a super chat if you'd like. Send us a question if you have one. Appreciate that very much. Thank you very much. Now 2 away with the runner on third. Rizzo is up. The pitch, well off the corner, but Rizzo fouls it back to the screen. 0-1. Rizzo re-signed with the Yankees this offseason. Really needed them to as well. Leadership he provides, especially now with Aaron Judge out right now. He's probably the only real threat in this lineup outside of maybe a Torres or a LeMahieu that really puts any fear into the pitcher's heart. Twins are now up 8-0. Yikes. 1-1 here. So far this year, Rizzo is hitting .231 with runners in scoring position. Has a couple of doubles, 7 RBIs, and 7 strikeouts. But as I mentioned, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Send us a super chat if you have a question. Be happy to answer any questions you got. The set by Perez, the 1-2. Nice pitch. Fastball looked like it was labeled for the inside corner, just tailed off the plate, and Rizzo swung on and missed for the third out of the inning. Perez talking to himself a little bit on that one. But 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Yankees. 4 runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Rangers. Rangers will have the middle of the order due up. It'll be Lowe, Garcia, and Young. Young had that grand slam back in the first inning. Cortez really struggled with his command back in the first, and second seemed to kind of get his footing underneath him just a little bit. But then he had a 4-pitch walk to Simeon as well, so we'll see how he comes out here in the third. Yankees absolutely need some length, as I've mentioned for probably the 6th time so far. Just looking at where he's at so far in the game. He's already thrown 56 pitches through 2 innings. Perez has thrown 41 through 3. That was the name of the game for the Rangers yesterday, is keeping that pitch count down with Nathan Eovaldi. Got to think Perez would like to do the same. With a bullpen that's certainly had its struggles over the last month, the Rangers certainly would like to keep it in the hands of their starting pitchers. Bochy's been a little bit timid to do that here early in the season, to let their starting pitcher go too long. I mean, it is April. You don't want to wear out the arm before you even get to August, September, October. But right now, the bullpen is certainly not at its best over the past week and a half. I think they played way above their heads for the first 3 weeks. But the need for a closer, the need for defined roles back there is absolutely vital right now. Curious to see if they're able to bring in somebody here at before the deadline or even before that. I wonder if Liam Hendricks gets healthy enough, if the White Sox go ahead and try to trade him or somebody else out of that bullpen. Lowe puts a charge into this one, but before the warning track, a few steps back as Hicks makes the catch. And that's more emblematic of what I'm seeing out of Nathaniel Lowe lately. Just a lot of warning track power lately. His approach is a lot different. He's being a little bit less patient right now. He still has a great eye, and they need to utilize that. And I'd love to see the Rangers kind of realize, that he looks like he's tired out there a little bit as far as his approach. He looks like he's trying to focus on his fielding, which is great. But I would be willing to, let Nathaniel Lowe take a day off, let his mind reset at the plate, because right now he doesn't look like himself. And the changes he made in the offseason, while they've had some benefits to his game, I think he needs to incorporate the success that he had last year a little bit better. Garcia quickly behind 0-2 here. lashes this one foul, and it stays 1-2. That's a very interesting graphic they have on the screen right now showing the different wind directions in the ballpark, how everything kind of swirls down in the middle of the ballpark, kind of knocking down balls. And a strikeout here for Cortez. Nice work there. It'll be up to Josh Young to keep this inning going. Strike on the outside corner. And he's ahead 0-1. If Cortez can get out of this 1-2-3 once again, or out of this 1-2-3, then I think the Yankees will feel a lot better about how their bullpen's going to be set up for the rest of the game. This one misses up and in, 1-1. Would like to see him get out of this inning underneath, say, 70 pitches. Allen bounces in there, and it's 2-1. Ooh, gets the call there. Absolute paint from Cortez. Nice pitch. 2-2. Young goes ahead and takes his time. Something we've seen out of a lot of hitters when they fall to that 2-strike count anyway. Bruce Bochy on the top step right now for the Rangers looking on. The 2-2. This one's lifted into center. Playable though. And right on the warning track is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, makes the catch, and that's the third out of the inning. Cortez ends the inning with 66 pitches. Looks like he's going to have enough to at least get through 5. Based on how that first inning went, you would have said, hey, that'd be a miraculous feat for him, but so far so good. Walks were the issue early, but it looks like he seemed to have calmed that down quite a bit. And through 3 innings, Rangers lead it 4-1. As I mentioned, tonight we'll be doing a live for Game 7 of the Colorado Avalanche and the Seattle Kraken. Defending champion Colorado Avalanche had a must-win Game 6 in Seattle and absolutely stifled the Seattle Kraken offense. Just a great performance by the Avalanche in that one. And McKinnon is every bit as talented as you would expect. He's been great in that series, but we'll see how they perform in Game 7. Kraken have certainly played well above expectations already, even if they lose in Game 7. So this season has already been a massive success for them. If they're able to knock off the defending champions, look out for the Kraken next year. They just need some offense in that lineup a little bit, and I think they're really set to go. But right now you can really see the disparity as far as talent on the offensive end for both teams. So we'll see if the defensive nature of the Kraken can kind of limit what happens for the Avalanche in the game. If they're able to do it, hold them to a shutout, a goal or 2, I think the Kraken have every chance in that game to win. But they're not going to win a shootout against anybody. You're not going to see them win a 5-4 playoff game very often, if at all. But if they're able to lock down on defense, get a few lucky breaks, stay out of the penalty box, maybe they induce the Avalanche into a penalty or 2, go on the job and get the job done. Maybe they're able to gut out Game 7 on the road against the defending champs. Looks like the Diamondbacks have just taken a 1-0 lead against Colorado. Perez misses down and in with that one, 1-0. Looks like he's starting to miss with a little bit on the edges as he tries to fine-tune his pitch just a little bit. Looks like he's trying to be a little too fine with it. LeMahieu ahead 2-0. Make it 3-0 as that one misses low. Looks like Cortez had the control issues early. Now it's Perez having the control issues. And these aren't necessarily close pitches. The second pitch was, but other than that, he's just missing spots right now. And home plate umpire has not been calling that all day, even though Perez wanted it. It still was low. Leadoff walk here for the Yankees as they look to get back into this game. Gleyber Torres due up next. And another one misses low. Got to think if he misses the zone once again, we'll see a mound visit. I don't know what exactly he's trying to throw that he just can't find the zone, but it seems like every single one of these is just missing. And it does miss. This one just off the plate inside. Again, just trying to be a little bit too fine with the fastball on that one. See if Heim sees something out of him. Sometimes these are just to kind of catch your breath, slow things down a little bit. Can't really do that so much nowadays with the pitch clock and those kinds of things. So if you're struggling, you can slow things down, try to make things a little bit more deliberate. Nowadays you can't do that. You got to grip it and rip it. This one towards the top of the zone, swung on and missed by Torres. A big swing on that one. Looks like he swings pretty big early in the count from what we've seen so far. 2-1 now. See if he can come back with another one. This one just off the plate on the inside corner, but lifted out towards Thompson and left. That's the first out of the inning. Cabrera due up next. Hitting .205. Highest edge rate in Major League Baseball, 48.9%. Remember how I talked about Martin Perez kind of being the modern-day Greg Maddux? Minimum 1,000 pitches thrown. 48% of his pitches have been right around the edges of the zone for ball or strike. So he doesn't necessarily live, down the middle or anything like that. Another one right on the corner. Fouled off by Cabrera, and it's 0-1. This one off the outside corner, swung on and missed. Nice tailing action on that pitch, and it's 0-2. The set by Perez. And the pitch. Little grounder to short. Duran bobbles it. They had time for a double play if he fielded it cleanly, but instead he'll just get the out at first. Should have been the end of the inning, but will not go down as an error. But that should have been the end of the inning right there. Perez gives his young shortstop some confidence there. Says, it's all right. I got it. It's one thing that's very different about Perez now versus Perez, say, at the beginning of his career with the Rangers. He's a whole lot more in control of his emotions than he used to be. Something like that would really set him off. Nice pitch on the inner half of the plate. IKF laces that one foul into the dugout. Umpire going over there to get some more baseballs and check, make sure everybody's good. But Duran should have turned that double play. Most ground balls since 2022. Valdez leads the league at 331. Perez second with 252. Allen misses low, and it's 1-1. The Yankees trying to knock across another run here. That one misses well outside for Perez. Not happy with himself on that one. Tugs at his shirt. The former Ranger shortstop, third baseman, second baseman, traded to Minnesota in that Mitch Garver deal. This one's grounded through the hole into right. Garcia comes up throwing to the plate. In time, and he's out at the plate. Another outfield assist for Garcia. How many times have we seen that over the past 3 years with Adolis Garcia for the Rangers? That throw was on line, a little bit low. Wonder if the Yankees are going to try to challenge it. The throw got there in time, it looked like, because it bounced a couple of times before the plate, though. Kind of took some of the steam off of it, but just looking at the replay, just in the nick of time before he touched the plate, it does look like LeMahieu is out for the third out of the inning. What a play there by Adolis Garcia. I still do not understand why teams run on him. He has so many outfield assists over the past 3 years, it's not even funny. And that's the third out of the inning. 4-1, Rangers keep the advantage right now. I understand with 2 outs and a runner on second, a ground ball through the hole, you want to see that runner score, but any one of the other outfielders that the Rangers have, I would have rather ran against. But Garcia coming in, charging the ball. He's very accurate with his arm. We've seen him throw out base runners at first, second, third, and home so many times. LeMahieu is a decent runner, not necessarily the fastest guy in the world. Didn't exactly get a horrible jump either. It's Adolis Garcia out there, man. Have runners at the corners with 2 outs. Just looking at their lineup. Higashioka was the next hitter. I guess you're worried that he can't drive in a run, but still. I would not have challenged the arm of Garcia there. He had plenty of time, too. I guess you're trying to put pressure on the outfielder to make a perfect throw. And he did throw a little bbit of a dribbler in, just a little bit, but he's always fairly accurate. That wasn't the best throw we've seen Garcia make, and it still got LeMahieu, and it was a close play, but a perfect throw, and he's out by 2 steps. Just charging it, and just a perfect... Yep, it did bounce twice. But yeah, perfect throw there, beats him by 2 steps there. Yeah. Anyway, as it stands, to the bottom of the 4th we go. Jonah Heim up first. Takes ball 1. Make it now 2-0. Cortez missing the zone just off the inside corner there. Appreciate you guys joining us. Got 14 of you guys with us right now. Thank you guys. Hit that like and subscribe. Really does help us out. Last 18 games, Heim hitting .305, but he's really seen that average drop over the past 3 or 4 weeks, or I should say a week and a half, with all the playing time he's having to do right now. Would like to see Bruce Bochy get him some time off every now and again. Swung on and missed. 2-2. He had about a .320 batting average a week and a half ago. It's down to .274. And I think it's primarily because of all this playing time that he's been getting. Sandy Leon's only gotten a couple of starts so far this year. Hard hit right at the third baseman. And it did get into the corner. It looked like the cameraman was fooled on that one. And Heim gets into second base. A double down the left field line. Nice work there by Heim, staying inside on that fastball. And just keeps it fair. It looked like the third baseman from the cameraman's angle looked like he had smothered it. And so I thought, hard hit ball, but another out. But no, Heim turns on that one. And just unable to pick it is the third baseman as it goes down into the corner. It'll be Ezekiel Duran due up next. That's Heim's 6th double this season. Big swing there by Duran, and it's 0-1. Didn't miss that one by much, it looked like. For a second baseman by trade, shortstop today, he does have impressive power. He does have a knack to strike out, though, from time to time. So he has an 11-game on-base streak. OPS over 1,000 during that streak. 5 extra base hits, hitting .395. Oh! Fouls this one back and off the side of the catcher's mask. 1-2. Looks like Higashioka's just fine. Catchers do take a bruising back there. Duran called time. Digging back in. They're going to say he went around on that one. That pitch was well inside, but couldn't hold up, and Duran is the second, or struck out for the second time today. Bochy on the top step, wondering why. Looked like he did go around though. Thompson digging in, 0 for 1 so far today. Misses low. 1-0. One thing you'd like to see for Thompson as he kind of tries to get a little bit better as far as contact, try to raise that batting average, is just to make more contact, period. Just get the ball in play and on the ground and utilize that speed. This one's popped up foul behind the Rangers dugout a couple of rows back, and it's 1-1. I mean, Thompson does have some power, don't get me wrong, but his biggest asset is that speed. So if you're able to just understand that and try to get more of a line drive approach at the plate and stop getting underneath balls, I think Thompson's average should certainly skyrocket with that ability he has to run the bases. That one misses north of the zone, 2-1. So far this year with runners in scoring position, he's 3 for 5 with a couple of doubles. The 2-1 is just off the plate, low and in. Missed it a couple of inches each direction. Heim gets a nice secondary lead off of second. Nobody really covering behind him. Wow. Same pitch, pretty much in the exact same spot, maybe a fraction higher, and he calls it a strike. 3-2 now to Thompson. Time by Thompson here. See if we can break up the rhythm of Cortez just a little bit. Cortez up to 80 pitches now. Whew. Nice off-speed pitch right at the top of the zone on the inside corner. Thompson unable to make contact with it, and again looks like he was mystified with the pitch pitch selection there. Saw the same thing in his first at bat. We've seen the Rangers hitters try to do a lot more guessing when they're at 2 strikes. They're young hitters anyway. Young has done that a lot this year. Thompson's, we've seen it twice now in this game. Tavares swings and misses at that first one just above the zone, and it's 0-1. Cortez trying to get out of this inning without giving up another run. After the Heim double to get things started here. Base hit here. Scores a run. The 1-1 pitch. Paint on the inside corner. Maybe a fraction off, but either way, just a great pitch there by Cortez. 1-2 now to the switch hitter. And this one on the outside corner, fouled away by Tavares. Remains 1-2. Marcus Semien, who got a 4-pitch walk the last time he was up, is on deck. Time here by Tavares. The set and the pitch. Well in the dirt, able to hold off those Tavares, and it's 2-2. Cortez up to 86 pitches. If the Rangers can get Tavares on, you got to wonder how much longer they'll let Cortez go here in the bottom of the 4th. Because if Semien reaches, you got to start thinking with that pitch count and where they're at, they might have to go to the bullpen. This one's well inside, but fouled off by Tavares. Able to make contact and stay alive. Good sweeping curb, or a good sweeper, if you will, by Cortez. Looked like it started in the middle of the plate and then almost hit him in the belt almost. The 88th pitch of the night for Cortez. above the zone, but Tavares chased again, and this time is unable to make contact for the third out of the inning. Gotta imagine Cortez comes out for at least one more inning now that he's at 88 pitches. See if they can get him as close to 100 as they can. See if they can get one more inning out of him. But as it stands through 4 innings, it's going to be 1-4 Rangers in front. Some of the other headlines from around Major League Baseball, we saw a little bit of a transaction anyway between the Twins and Brewers. Trevor Megill goes from the Twins to the Brewers. Looks like it's going to be pretty much just a cash transaction when it's all said and done. We mentioned the Jacob deGrom news that he goes to the IL. 15-day IL, elbow inflammation. Looks like he's avoided major injury once again. You always got to hold your breath, though, at least until you figure out what it is. Mariners activating Taylor Trammell. Some more back into the roster notes. We'll get into some of the trade talk that's out there already. One of the big names that was available via trade this offseason was going to be Bryan Reynolds. I never really believed all the smoke that was there, though, that other teams were going to end up ponying up the price. They wanted a Juan Soto type of package. And I'm sorry, Bryan Reynolds is not Juan Soto make, but he's certainly a very good player. Ended up signing, I believe, a 6 or 8 year deal. I can't remember. I want to say it's a 6-year deal for around $100 million. Has some opt-out language in there, etc. But they finally get it done. Bryan Reynolds had requested a trade this offseason and ultimately decides to stay with the Bucks. Higashioka digs in, 0 for 1 on the day. Nice base hit into left center, down for a base hit, and Higashioka is on for the lead runner here in the top of the 5th. Yankees have been able to get runners on against Perez so far today, but haven't been able to get anything across aside for the 1 run. Perez has had his ups and downs with his control so far today. Looks like it'll be Aaron Hicks once again. Had a good game so far today. This one's lifted into right center. Is it going to hold up? No. 2 on, nobody out now. Back-to-back base hits. Yankees just taking the ball where it's pitched so far. Perez up to 58 pitches. But now he's got his work cut out for him here in the 5th. Just off the end of the bat. Lifted out over second base, and nice work there by Hicks. This one's another first pitch swinging here. Looks like it's going to be into shallow center. Tavares is there and makes the play. 3 pitches, 2 base hits, and 1 out. I'd say that's very economical for Perez, but you'd like to see some more outs instead of base hits there. For the Yanks, they got to scratch at least 1 more of these runs across. 1 run, 6 hits now in the game, no errors. 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Rangers. Cortez's walks earlier in the game proving to be a little troublesome for them. Ground ball back to the pitcher, Perez to second, on to first, the double play. What a nice inning there by Perez, even with the 2 base hits to start the inning. Threw what, a total of 4 pitches that inning to 4 hitters. Nice fielding there by Perez. Nice soft toss to Simeon. Strong throw to Lowe. And just a quick inning, even with 2 base hits in the inning. Whew. We might get another complete game out of the Rangers at this rate. They haven't been stressful innings so far for Perez, even though he's had some runners on against him. but it'll be Simeon, Grossman, and Lowe to get things started here in the bottom of the fifth for the Rangers against Cortez. Got to wonder if they do get a runner on, though, how quickly they go to that bullpen. I mean, the game is still within reach if you're a Yankee fan, even without Aaron Judge in the lineup today. Still have plenty of talent in that lineup to be able to drive across some runs. But Perez has been very good today. You don't want to necessarily get that advantage a little or too far out there to where you can't make a comeback. Although the Rangers bullpen certainly has given up their fair share of runs so far the last couple of weeks. Curious to see that be the strategy for the Yankees, is to attack the fastball early in the account or to attack the ball over the middle of the plate. It worked for a couple of them, but you saw how quickly that can end your inning as well. The good and the bad for the Yankees in the top of the fifth. As they show flashbacks from last October, Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge's home runs. Looks like we're just getting out of commercial break. First pitch here is well outside to Simeon, ball one. Last time took a 4-pitch walk. This one's lifted into, well, I should say skied into short, well, just on the edge of the dirt anyway. Nice play there by Volpe. One away. Looking at the average for Cortez as you go through the lineup. The first time, average is only 122. The second time, 286. Third time through, 348. So we'll see how long this leash is for Cortez as that one misses. If I'm a Rangers hitter, I'm just waiting until I get a 2-strike count at this point. High strike there for Cortez, and it's 1-1. Main reason being is because I would like to see, how we get into this bullpen. Doesn't help us for tomorrow's game because obviously this is the end of the series here. But anytime you can get the starter out of there, you never know what the next reliever is going to be able to do out of that bullpen. That one misses away again, and it's 3-1. I'd imagine this is definitely the final inning for Cortez, however it ends up going. And that one misses well outside, ball 4. Grossman takes his second walk of the day. Four walks in the game for Cortez so far. We haven't seen a mound visit here yet. Thought we might with the first runner getting on base here in the fifth. Low again the opposite way. As this one got enough to go at the wall, and it's gone! A 2-run home run, opposite field home run for Lowe. He needed that. I mean, he looked like he had warning track power the past week or so. Gets his 4th home run. I think all of them have been at Globe Life Field. 382, 101 off the bat. Just another laser out towards left field. And it's now a 6-1 ball game. That's got to be it for Cortez, you'd think. All the Rangers runs scoring on home runs. The grand slam by Josh Young back in the first. The 2-run home run here by Lowe. Looks like we're going to get a mound visit here at least. See if they had to have already had somebody warming. Unless they didn't, which I think would have been a mistake. But either way right now, Rangers in front 6-1. And again, this offense just continues to roll and continue to put runners across the board, or to put runs on the board and get runners home. Something I did not think that they would be able to do as successfully as they did last year, but they've really been performing, especially with runners in scoring position. Cortez just looks defeated on the mound. He doesn't understand why that one went out, it looks like. I mean, Lowe did get it off towards the outside of the bat, or towards the very end of the bat, but just able to muscle it over the wall. And it'll be Garcia next. Tapped foul, and it's 0-1. Looks Looks like they got double barrel action out there in the Yankees bullpen now. Maybe they're just trying to get him out of the... Oh, wow. Another absolute rocket just over the wall there. Low hit it just above the yellow line. This one goes maybe 2 or 3 feet past that. The 8th home run of the year. 391 feet, 103.5 miles an hour off the bat. 26-degree launch angle. Almost all of them have been line shots out. And another big hit for Garcia as he keeps it going. And it's 7-1 Rangers. You got to think if somebody's ready in that bullpen, they got to pull him now. If they're not ready, then they might give Cortez one more. But looks like they're going to give Cortez one more. Okay. Josh Young digging in, misses well high, and it's 1-0. That's the first time this season the Rangers have gone back-to-back with home runs. This one's popped up behind first base. Going out is Torres. Over-the-shoulder catch. Looked a lot like Robbie Cano on that one. Cortez gets the second out of the inning. Cortez struggled with his command early and has given up some home runs. That's the story of the game so far. 7-1 Rangers here in the bottom of the 5th, 2 outs. And it looks like Aaron Boone does have a reliever ready, and they're going to go ahead and get him. Just not a good performance by Nestor Cortez today. Struggled with that command early. And that was kind of the problem with the Josh Young home run. Just a ball leaked out over the plate with the bases loaded, and Young didn't miss it. Lowe has had warning track power for the better part of the last 3 weeks, it seemed like. And finally is able to get one muscled out off the end of the bat over the wall. And then a back-to-back home run with Adolis Garcia knocking out the last one. Garcia's done a nice job raising his average this season. He was around 200 3 weeks ago. He's up to 267 now. Cortez finishes with 100 pitches thrown, 4 2/3, 7 strikeouts, 7 earned runs. All of them coming on the home run. Looks like they're going to go with Albert Abreu. He has a 146 earned run average so far this year. As I mentioned before, last season I thought the Yankees needed some starting pitching. That seemed to be their downfall in the second half of the season, and especially in the playoff series they had against the Houston Astros. They tried to make the trade for Frankie Montas. Obviously that didn't work out. I thought they should have been the team that went out there and got Luis Castillo. But instead it seemed like the Yankees, who have been an organization that's never really been accused of going cheap, went cheap at the trade deadline and went with that guy. And instead, they got really no production out of Montas. They traded away Jordan Montgomery because there wasn't really a spot for him in the rotation. But you saw how good he was in the second half of the year for the Cardinals. Just allowing him to throw the pitches he wanted to throw in St. Louis really elevated his game, whereas the Yankees kind of held him back. But this year, they spend all that money on Carlos Rodon. And they're going with some young guys in the rotation on the back half with Brito in there. First pitch for Abreu up and away to Heim. Heim batting from the left side now. With the righty on the mound. 1-0. But I'm curious to see what the Yankees' long-term plan is in that rotation. Hard hit. This one, it looks like it's absolutely smashed. This one's like 30 rows back in the bleachers in right field. Another home run for Texas. And it's 8-1 Rangers. 433 feet, 106 off the bat. 29-degree launch angle. Another one absolutely mashed. His 5th home run of the season. And I guess a good call by Bochy starting him today. He has a couple of extra base hits in the game. Had a double down the line when he was batting from the right side back in the third or fourth inning anyway. And then this one, he absolutely torches 30 rows back. Garcia pumped for that one in the dugout, and it's 8-1 Texas. This one up at the chin of Duran. 1-0. Check swing. Another one up and in. Made contact with the bat and not Duran, at least, I suppose. If you're a Ranger fan, that's a good thing. You don't have yet another hitter getting hit by a ball off the hand. They've had or hand or face. They've had that multiple times this season. This one's on the outer edge of the plate and fouled back. It's now 1-2. Abreu one strike away from at least ending this inning for the Yankees. We've seen 3 home runs this inning for the Rangers. Time requested here by Duran. He's struck out twice so far today. Would like to see if he can handle the bat a little bit better, choke up. But it does not look like he's going to do, or at least choke up anyway. We'll see if he has a different approach, though. Looks like he did more of a slap the ball into the field of play, but right to the first baseman, LeMahieu. And that's the end of the 5th. But not before 4 more runs across home plate. 2-run home run by Lowe, followed by a back-to-back home run by Adolis Garcia, the first time for the Rangers this season. And then another home run for Jonah Heim. 8-1 Rangers as we go to the 6th. Now the Rangers got to feel like if they can get at least a couple more innings out of Perez, maybe they don't have to push him to get another complete game. Save his arm for later in the season, but right now, as we sit here going to the 6th, Perez is at 60 pitches through 5 innings. If he can keep kind of that proportion going, you'd probably imagine he gets around 100 pitches as we get through the 9th if he's able to keep things going as is. Back-to-back complete games would be a great thing for the Rangers. Let their bullpen really rest and be fully good to go with John Gray coming up next in the rotation. He's had his struggles over the past 3 weeks due to injury, etc. He struggled with command the last couple of times out. So having a completely rested bullpen might be a good thing. Heaney, their 5th starter, who took the loss in the first game of this series against the Yanks, he usually doesn't go deep into games. Usually you can count on him for 4, 5, or 6 innings. If he's struggling, 4. If he's having a decent game, 5. And if he's out of this world, great, 6. But he's never really gone deep past that since he made the changes to his delivery, to his mechanics, to his approach with the Dodgers last year. He's very much a strikeout pitcher. So if he's got those working, you can usually count on him for 5 or 6 innings. But beyond that, I would not expect much for Andrew Heaney. John Gray can give you a little bit of both. He can give you a little bit of length, but it also gives you the strikeout as well, so you might be able to get him on a good day 6 to 7 innings. So you want to have that bullpen rested just in case John Gray struggles with command once again. The game I went to against the Oakland A's, he cruised through 3 innings and then just couldn't find the zone. Ended up walking 5. The Rangers seemed like they were holding back some of their bullpen a little bit for the Jacob deGrom start. Even though I think they had 3 different long relievers out there right at that time. They could have easily used 1 or 2 of them and saved one of them for the deGrom game, but instead they just let deGrom kind of wither out there, and he ended up giving, I believe, 3 runs. Bullpen came in and coughed up another one to tie the game, and then Will Smith came in the 9th to try to keep it close and gave up the home run to Jordan Davis that proved to be the difference in the game. Perez is ahead quickly 0-2 with Rizzo, and Rizzo lifts this one to center, a lazy fly ball, and Taveras comes in a few steps and makes the catch. 1 away. Another one finds the zone with 7-run lead. Most pitching coaches don't tell you not to try to be too fine with it. Just throw a whole bunch of strikes. That's what we've seen with Perez. It looks like he's coming into the zone just a little bit more than he usually does. He's still nibbling around the corners, don't get me wrong, but he's a lot more close to the plate right now as the Angels have taken a 3-0 lead over Milwaukee. Division rival for the Texas Rangers. Another 0-2 count here. This one well off the plate, 0-2 or 1-2 now, excuse me. We're in the top of the sixth. We've seen 4 home runs for the Texas Rangers today. A grand slam for Young, 2-run shot by Lowe, followed by another home run for Adolis Garcia. His, ninth of the year? 8th or 9th home run of the year. First time they've had back-to-back home runs. That one misses inside, and it's 2-2. Right on the inside corner, LeMahieu again does not like it and has a word for the home plate umpire as he walks back. Seen him have a few words for every umpire that calls him out on strikes this series. I mean, it was close. Was a little bit off, I suppose. But on 2 strikes, you've got to be able to swing the bat and get the bat off your shoulders. I don't know why he was bending back on that one. It wasn't even close to him. Trying to sell that it was a ball, I suppose. Torres, another big swing. 0-1. This one lifted into right. Does it have enough? No. Garcia is there and makes a nice catch. Looks like he bobbled it just a hair once it hit his glove, but nice 1-2-3 inning for Perez. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Rangers 8, Yankees 1. Well, let's check in on those standings one more time, just kind of check out where things are, any major surprises. As we mentioned, the Rangers probably the biggest surprise in the American League as far as teams winning their division. They're 16-11 to start the season. Houston got off to a decent start, but struggled in the middle part, and have certainly corrected themselves over the past about the past week. Got the sweep over Atlanta in Atlanta. They're back to above 500 with a 14-13 record. Angels about where I expected them to be, around 500. Ohtani and Trout really carrying them as always. And then the one team that's a little bit of a surprise in the AL West is the Seattle Mariners, 11-16. But their starting pitching is going to be without Robbie Ray the rest of the year. Their hitting hasn't really gotten off to a great start either. But overall, the AL West is significantly improved, primarily because of the Texas Rangers over what they've been in the past. The worst team in baseball, probably in baseball history at this point, is the Oakland A's. We'll see just how bad they are by the end of the year, but I'm expecting them to win right around 40 games at this point. I thought a horrible season for them would be 50 games, 55 games, but they've really lowered that floor, honestly. And a successful season for them might be winning 55 games. So things are looking ugly out in Oakland. They did, of course, purchase some land in Las Vegas. Looks like they're going to be moving to Las Vegas at some point. Whole lot of acrimony about how they're going. Did they do the right thing? Did they shaft Oakland, etc. And all honest opinions, like just looking at it, I mean it's Oakland's decision to decide where they want to play baseball. If they have a better opportunity to play in Vegas, they should play in Vegas. I thought they or the Rays could be one of the teams that goes there, or maybe even an expansion team. But I think they'll be a lot more successful there. The Giants, I think, own that area or the Bay Area as far as broadcasts, etc., attendance to games, fans, etc. That and the Oakland A's have an absolutely terrible stadium, probably the worst in all of Major League Baseball. There's months out of every season where that stadium has some type of sewage problem, where there's raw sewage covering massive amounts of ground at the stadium. It's disgusting, and it's been an ongoing problem for decades. And hopefully we get to see Oakland, hopefully now the Las Vegas Athletics, or whatever they decide to be named, have a much better stadium situation going forward. But they needed a move. Maybe the change to Vegas will allow them to change the way they play the game. Instead of playing it kind of a moneyball way, maybe they can be a little bit more competitive with payroll and all those kinds of things. But they'll certainly have a lot more value playing in Vegas than they will playing in Oakland. The 0-2 pitch taken by Thompson there, and another strikeout. Thompson's not had a good day at the plate. In the American League East, Yankees are probably going to drop a game here, so they'll probably end today 15-14, but unless they're able to make a nice comeback here. But their division certainly has gotten off to a nice start. Nice curveball there by Abreu. But Rays 23-5. I think they're going to come back to the pack quite a bit, though. They've gotten off to a great start against teams that are less than good, I'll put it that way. I think their toughest opponent in their first 13, 15 games was the Boston Red Sox, and they're a 500 team. I don't expect Boston to be a 500 team by the end of the season. Looks like the trainer's coming out here for Abreu. That last pitch, he delivered it a little funny. Landed a little awkwardly. Aaron Boone kind of checking the dirt for him a little bit, seeing what happened. Home plate umpire sticking with him. I think his landing spot kind of made him land a little weird. Every now and again, you just need that dirt loosened up as the day goes on. It dries out, etc. It kind of gets a little harder. No grounds crew comes out for this one, though, and looks like he's got it the way he wants it now. This one just off the outside corner, 1-1. But the Yankees are going to be without Judge for a little bit here. Got to wonder if that rotation is going to be able to hold up the rest of the season, especially with Judge out right now. Nice pitch there by Abreu. Blows that one by him. 98-mile-an-hour fastball low and away. 1-2. But if the Yankees are able to do so and get that starting rotation the way it needs to go, you're probably looking at a team that's going to be contending with that for the division crown with the likes of the Toronto Blue Jays. I think the Orioles are playing way above their heads right now, but they're certainly taking advantage of the new rules as far as stolen bases are concerned. Cedric Mullins had a career-high 34 last year. So far in 1 month, he's already got 12. So safe to say he's going to exceed his career high this year as long as he stays healthy. But maybe the new rules will benefit a team like the Orioles more than others. 3-2 pitch now here to Taveras. Fouled back. Just getting enough of it is Taveras. And it remains 3-2. My picks again at the beginning of the season for the World Series were the Blue Jays and the Padres. I thought the Blue Jays did enough to kind of diversify themselves. They had enough starting pitching. Still curious about whether or not that will ultimately be the case long term for them. And Taveras takes the walk there. Marcus Semien due up next. One on, one out. This one's a hard hit grounder to third. Easily turned double play, but Semien is able to beat it out to first. The throw is just a little wide at first. And Semien does run well, so it turns into a ground out though. But nice pick by Peraza. The throw by Torres looked like it was a little offline and a little slow, honestly. Kind of a sidearm delivery. And it looks like Ty goes to the runner there with Semien. Thought it was an easy double play off the bat, but Semien busted it down the line and got the job done. Curious about Torres long term with the Yankees. There was some chatter this offseason that they may trade him to the Miami Marlins. Possibly for a Pablo Lopez type. I think a trade like that would have been a fantastic deal for them. Unclogs their infield. Maybe send a prospect or two down there. But the question is always going to be, what would they have to give up? Dominguez or somebody at the very top of their prospect pool? But instead they decided to roll with what they got in that rotation. Grossman takes one down the middle and it evens the count 1-1. Another player that's playing well above his head right now, Robbie Grossman, over the last 10 games, 10-game hitting streak, has an OPS over 1,000. 0 for 1 so far today. That one well inside. Did he offer at it? No, says the third base umpire. And it's 2-1. He's been walked twice so far today and struck out. Nice pitch there. Offered at and missed by Grossman. 2-2, 2 outs. Semien will be on the move. He bluffed a move, it looked like there. 3-2. Rangers have been known to send people with 2-2 counts this year, taking advantage of opportunities when they can. Usually it's an automatic when it's 3-2, but so far it's been 2-2 this year. The Rangers have stolen quite a few bases on. Looks like Semien was off to the races on that one. As Grossman fouled that one back over the screen. And we'll do it again. The 3-2 pitch. Hard hit into left center. This one's going to get down and cut off by the left fielder Hicks. Semien off with the pitch anyway. Runs and is going to score after the bobble by Torres out at second. Probably would have been safe anyway. The throw came into second instead of going to home, but Semien scores from first on a single to left center. And Grossman keeps his hitting streak going. It's now an 11-game hitting streak, and the Rangers have plated another run. It's now 9-1, the first run that has not scored via home run. And it'll be Nathaniel Lowe due up next. Has a walk and had a home run in his last at bat. Nice off-speed pitch right on the corner, but called a ball by the home plate umpire. He's been a little bit inconsistent at times with his calls. Chris Guccione is the home plate umpire today. The 1-0 up and away, and it's 2-0. Nathaniel Lowe very happy to take another walk if they want to give it to him. Abreu up to 26 pitches. This one well inside, 3-0. Got to imagine they'll have a mound visit here if he misses with this one. Got to have somebody loosening in that bullpen. He's already at 27 pitches, so I wouldn't imagine he goes too much further, and that one misses well up and away. A 4-pitch walk once again. Rangers have been more than happy to take their base today. That makes 6 walks so far by Yankee pitching today. Semien's been walked once. Grossman's been walked twice. Lowe has been walked twice. And Taveras has taken a walk today. And we do, in fact, have a mound visit here. Adolis Garcia, who had a home run in the 5th inning. 2 for 3 today. Rangers' hottest hitter in their lineup right now is due up, and he absolutely crushes fastball pitchers, and that's exactly what Abreu is. So we'll see who gets the better of the matchup this time. Abreu, 28 pitches, 15 strikes. Looks like they got a lefty loosening out there. Nick Ramirez, number 63. 9-1 Rangers here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 run is already across. Looks like the Nationals have taken a 2-0 lead on the division-leading Pirates. 2 on, 2 out. Off-speed pitch right at the top of the zone. Good pitch there by Abreu. It's exactly what I would do if I was facing Garcia right now. I would not get him a fastball right now. This one's up and in. Fastball misses, and it's 1-1. You can tell that's what Garcia's geared up for right now, but he's been a lot more patient hitter at the plate this year. I think he's cut his swing and miss rate down by 10%. One of the biggest changes in Major League Baseball this season. I think he had it down 11% a week or so ago. His chase rate down. That's the biggest drop in Major League Baseball this season. I'm not sure if that's still the case now that he's dropped it a little bit. The 1-2 pitch here. Well beneath the zone, 2-2. You want to keep that pitch competitive, though, if you're Abreu. You don't want to necessarily miss, but you don't want to give one out over the middle of the plate and allow him to knock it over the wall again. Runners on first and second. Time for Garcia here. 2-2 is the count. Looks like the graphics department on game day is paused a little bit. The 2-2 pitch. Up and in, and it's going to be a full count. Once again, runners will be off with this pitch. Umpires change their positioning now with the full count. Just off the outside corner, and another walk by the Yankees. Yankees just have not been able to throw strikes today. That's the 7th walk in the game to Texas Rangers hitters. Ouch. Bases are now loaded for Josh Young, who had a grand slam back in the first. This one very inside, 98-mile-an-hour fastball. A little bit surprised they are not bringing in a reliever at this point. I imagine if he reaches, they will, with the lefty on deck. That one misses low, and it's 2-0. Looks like Abreu's got nothing left at this point. He looks gassed. That's his 36th pitch of the night. 2-0. Young with his first career grand slam back in the first has another opportunity here to get his second. The 2-0. Nice off-speed pitch. Outer half of the plate, belt high though. If he had done that after throwing a get-me-over fastball, that pitch would have ended up in the bleachers. Welcome in, CJ. You're sad. I'm guessing you're a Yankees fan. Well, they couldn't throw strikes today. That's their problem. 7 walks in the game, and then they couldn't keep the ball in the yard. 4 home runs for the Rangers. That one's a nice fastball in the inner half of the plate. 2-2. Looks like Abreu's gathering himself just a little bit here. See if he can throw one more strike and get the Yankees out of it. But right now, 9-1 Rangers with a chance to do more right now. The 2-2 pitch. Lifted foul, and it's remains 2-2. Appreciate you for joining us, CJ. As they show highlights of the Young grand slam back in the first. The 2-2 pitch. Misses low and away. Full count. Runners will be off with the pitch on this one. Rangers have put up over 10 runs multiple times so far this season, with another opportunity to do it here. It's going to be a mound visit once again for this 3-2 pitch. Make sure they get the right call in. I mean, it's an 8-run game, but one mistake and there's really not much you can do to get back into this one if you're New York. So you got to clamp it down now. Three-two pitch, bases loaded, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch, right at the top of the zone, is not called a strike, and another walk. Wow, that one was right in there on the zone, though. If I'm a Yankee fan, I'm upset at that one. And they walk home another run, and another 10-run game for the Rangers. That's got to be it for Abreu, though. He looks completely gassed. Looks like it will be, especially with the lefty coming on. They got the lefty in the bullpen. Nick Ramirez ready. 10-1 Rangers. The story of the game, home runs and walks for the Rangers right now. 8 walks in the game. 5 RBI game for Josh Young today. Jonah Heim already has a double and a home run in today's game. Raised his batting average quite a bit so far today, after struggling for the past week and a half. The Mariners looks like they've come back to tie it. A blown save for the Blue Jays against Seattle. 8-8 is the score there. Well, at least that's some good news if you're a Yankee fan, I suppose. But it ain't over yet there. Twins lead 8-2 in the 7th. Angels 3-0 over the Brewers in the 8th. Again, we'll be live for you guys for tonight for Game 7, Colorado versus Seattle. Make sure you join us for that one. Colorado, the defending champ, should be a very interesting game. Nick Martinez coming on. Just going to look at his numbers for you real quick. Hasn't given up an earned run yet so far this year. But in a 9-run game, you just need to stop the bleeding somehow. Looks like the Cardinals and Dodgers are underway. Nothing in the bottom of the first there. Sunday Night Baseball features a World Series rematch, Phillies versus Astros. Two teams that have certainly rebounded after having their struggles earlier in the year. Let's see what Jonah Heim has in store here. First pitch, hard hit, but foul. Heim's been very good today. He's been right on a number of these pitches. Kind of a get-me-over pitch to get the bat started there for Ramirez. 2 innings, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. Batter's hitting 143 against him. This one's lifted into center. Does it have enough? Off the bottom of the wall. Multiple runs will score. It's going to be another extra base hit for Texas. Another extra base hit for Heim. 2 runs will score. It's 12-1 Texas. He missed it by that much. Got it just enough off the end of the bat that it wasn't another grand slam for Texas. I mean, he just missed it. But another hard hit ball for Jonah Heim today. 2 doubles, a home run for him. Good call, Bruce Bochy putting him in the game today. Ezekiel Duran pounces on that one foul. 100-mile-an-hour fastball back to the screen. Duran looking for his first hit of the ball game. Oh and 1. Back through the box, and that will score 2 more runs. What a nice piece of hitting there by Duran. It looks like, wow, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa grabbed the ball and then dropped it as he was about to throw it. Duran should have gotten on second with that bobble by Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, but either way, it's now a 14-1 Rangers lead. We might see some position player pitching by the end of this one for the Yankees. Looks like yep, he just dropped it as he went to go throw it. Rangers just putting a thumping on the Yankees right now. That one misses well outside, 1-0. Rangers look to take the series here. They lost the opener but have won the last 2. Got to wonder how deep they're going to have Perez go in this one with a 14-1 advantage right now. Thompson struck out all 3 times he's gone to the plate today. He's 0 for 3. Got a 2-0 count though right now. Ooh, nice pitch there. Breaking ball just breaks in over the corner at the top of the zone. Looks like we might indeed get a pitching change. Ian Kennedy is loosening. Perez has had to sit for quite a bit of time though with these long innings with the Rangers batting. I mean, the Rangers would much rather have that, don't get me wrong, but Perez certainly still within his pitch count for sure, but maybe the Rangers just trying to be mindful this is early in the season. No need to use all those bullets right now. Thompson grounds this one to short. On to first. Volpe gets the play. Wow. And finally, the inning is over for the Yankees. I mean, mercifully for Yankees fans, it's at least over now. I mean, just look at the scoreboard. Look at this run, or look at this line right here. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the Yankees. They had a runner thrown out at the plate. That was pretty much the last time they were competitive in this game. And then just look at the crooked numbers the Rangers have put up. A grand slam in the first, 4 runs, 3 home runs in that 5th inning, and then 6 in the 6th. I mean, and it ain't going to get better. We're going to see some position player pitching at some point for the Yankees, I guarantee you, before the end of this one. But this has gotten ugly fast for New York. I imagine we'll see Ian Kennedy at this point. As much as I'd love to see Martin Perez, one of my favorite players in Major League Baseball, continue, but he's pitched well today. Perez has only thrown 70 pitches so far through 6 innings. And he's been sharp. He had a little bit of control issues in the 3rd and 4th, but he was able to get around it. And it does look like we will have a pitching change. It looks like Ian Kennedy will be coming on, trying to lower that earned run average once again. His ERA is at a 9 right now. This is one spot I think the Rangers bullpen could use an upgrade at some point. They have Josh Spores back there as well. They could use a replacement for him at some point, depending on what they decide to do at the deadline. I think they still have Barlow still in the minors right now that they could bring up, who does have closing experience, but he's not exactly a fireballer. Like somebody like that is exactly what this bullpen needs. Somebody who's able to control the zone, not walking a whole bunch of hitters. That's been the one issue this bullpen has really had. They have some really good pitchers back there, some good stuff, but they've struggled keeping the ball in play for one, and they've struggled with the strike zone at other points. So we'll see if the Yankees can take advantage of that a little bit and climb back into this one a little bit. That's going to be a tough task, though, down 14-1 as we enter the top of the 7th inning. Kennedy usually gives you about an inning nowadays. He was a starter back in the day, so they might ask him to go 2 in this one. 8 appearances so far this year. Has thrown 6 innings, 9 ERA, 8 strikeouts to 2 walks, a .269 batting average against. Looks like the Red Sox are up 7-1 against the Guardians. Nationals still up 2-0 against the Pirates. First pitch, a ball to Cabrera. It'll be 6, 7, 8 for the Yankees here. This one's lifted out into left. Going back on it is Thompson in front of the wall. Makes the catch. The one thing you want to see if you're the Rangers right now is not necessarily nibbling on the strike zone. You want to see strikes being thrown, the ball in play. You might give up a run or two that way, but you want this game to end with the Rangers on top. You don't want to necessarily give the Yankees too many opportunities. Looks like the White Sox have taken the lead late against the Rays, 4-3. Or have the lead late against the Rays, 4-3 anyway. Isaiah Carnafalefa takes a strike right at the top of the zone. Hitting 188 on the year. Had that base hit the last time up. If you guys are joining us, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help us out. Another one right at the top of the zone, and it's quickly 0-2. As versatile as Isaiah Carnafalefa is, he needs to get on base. That's his biggest asset to this Yankees team. That and his versatility. With the injuries they have going right now, that's invaluable for them, but they'd still like to see a little bit more production from the plate, or at the plate from him. That's part of the reason the Rangers went out there and spent that money to bring in Marcus Semien, to bring in Corey Seager, made the trade to get to bring in Mitch Garver to help that offense. Garver, of course, has not really worked out. The trade that sent him to Minnesota, ultimately he was shipped on to the Yankees along with Josh Donaldson. as the Twins tried to clear off some salary in order to bring in Carlos Correa, and that move certainly has worked out for them. Swing and a miss. Another fastball right at the top of the zone. Kennedy living at the top of the zone right now. Cardinals look like they've taken a 2-0 advantage on the Dodgers in the top of the second. Orioles look like they have just defeated the Tigers 5-3. Kennedy nibbling here now. Another one right at the top of the zone again. 1-1. Two away here in the top of the seventh. Rangers pitching has only walked one. Ooh, that was a great pitch on the inside corner, but call the ball. 2-1. I don't think that was anywhere near where they were trying to toss that one, but that was a great pitch either way. Remains 2-1 though for the moment. That one's offered at beneath the zone, and it's 2-2. Kennedy a strike away from getting through the seventh. If he's able to get through this one here. Looks like Kennedy was a little bit confused on the count there, so he requests time and confirmation of the count. Looks like one of the scoreboards had it wrong. A lot of technical difficulties I've noticed in this game. This one's hard hit into center. Tavares going back on it, has room, and makes the catch. 1-2-3 go the Yankees. And we go to the bottom of the seventh. All Rangers in this one, 14-1. Just to kind of recap how we got here. In the bottom, oh, there we go. Rays jump back in front of the White Sox, 5-4 in the top of the eighth. But again, just to kind of recap how we got here, Josh Young got things started for the Rangers with a grand slam against Cortez after Cortez struggled with his command early on. In the later innings, looks like he kind of rebounded for this command a little bit, and then things kind of fell off, or the wheels fell off the bus for him in the fifth as that pitch count just kept creeping higher and higher. He just lost his command even more so, and so the Rangers just kind of pounced on it. They go to the bullpen. The Rangers were able to scratch across 4 in that fifth inning. With the first time the Rangers hitting back-to-back home runs this season. Nathaniel Lowe getting a 2-run home run, and then Adolis Garcia a solo shot. Jonah Heim added another home run in that inning. And then in the sixth inning, Albert Abreu just tried to keep things going for the Yankees, tried to lock them down, but the Rangers just made him work. The Rangers just keep working at bats. The Rangers have worked, I want to say, 8 walks so far in the game today. Simeon's got a walk. Grossman's been walked twice. Lowe's been walked twice. Garcia's got a walk. Young's got a walk. Even Tavares has got a walk. So that's been the name of the game for Texas right now, is just getting on base, being patient, not swinging at balls clearly out of the strike zone. Don't get me wrong, they still have a couple of hitters that have multiple strikeouts in the game, with Ezekiel Duran, the hero of last night's game, had that 2-run home run. He's 1 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts today. And then Bubba Thompson's not had a good game at the plate. 3 strikeouts, 0 for 4 at the plate. Tavares has only got that 1 walk. Other than that, he's 0 for 2. He's going to be leading things off here for the Rangers in the bottom of the seventh. But that's kind of how we got here. Rangers have just been able to mash runs, get extra base hits, and they've done very well today. Something they don't usually do is get a lot of walks, and that's what they've gotten a boatload of today. On the other end, the Rangers had great defense out there in the outfield. Adolis Garcia threw out a runner at the plate earlier in the game when the game was still competitive, keeping it a 4-1 ball game, and that was the last time we saw any life out of this Yankees lineup. They got 2 on, nobody out, I believe, in the fifth against Perez, but Perez only needed 4 pitches in that inning. 1 pitch to each of the 4 batters he faced, led off the inning with a single, another single, and then he had a pop out, and then a ground ball double play to end the inning. Just a very, changing of the tide, if you will, for the Rangers in that inning. In the previous half inning, that was the one where they had the runner thrown out at the plate. And then they get the first two runners on to start the fifth, and then just as quickly, it's gone. And then the Rangers put up 4 in the bottom half, and that was all she wrote, it looks like, for this one. We'll see how high the scoreboard goes, but we might see the biggest run differential of the season today, especially if we get some position player pitching today. Rangers have had to face that multiple times so far this season. And this still is not the highest run total they put on the board in any game so far this year. But I came into the game discussing how the Rangers have had a great offense so far this year, great hitting with runners in scoring position, and they've continued that today. The one thing I worry about is how that's going to affect them the rest of the season. If that falls back to the pack a little bit, are they still going to be able to keep their run production high enough to support the starting pitching that they brought in this offseason? This one's just off the end of the bat and off the glove of Ramirez. Not sure if that'll go down as an error or a base hit because Taveras does run well. I'd probably go with an infield single on that one. But Ramirez should have at least been able to field that cleanly. Kind of a swinging bunt, if you will. But 1 on, nobody out here to start things in the bottom of the 7th. And it's just more of the same for the Yankees. Just things have not gone well for them. Marcus Semien looking for his first base hit of the game. Lines this one right at the second baseman. That was a nice hit by Semien, but great play by Torres. Just lined up perfectly for that one as they were set up for the double play. Taveras dives back in and is safe at first base. Robbie Grossman, who extended his 10-game hitting streak to 11 games his last at-bat, scored 3 runs in the game today, has a couple of walks. In the 10th inning, looks like the Mariners have taken the lead 10-8 over the Blue Jays, so more bad news. Well, I should say, less bad news, I should say, for the Yankees, excuse me. So maybe that's the bright line, or silver lining there for you. Grossman takes on the inside corner, 0-2 now. Strike 3. Nice pitch there. Grossman was expecting something different. Looks like Brad Miller is going to be a pinch hitting here for Nathaniel Lowe. Maybe this is one way to get Nathaniel Lowe some time off. I was discussing that at the beginning of the game. How Lowe just hasn't looked like himself for the past 3 weeks. Don't get me wrong, he's walked twice today. He's got that 2-run home run, but he's had warning track power for the past couple of weeks. Looks like he's struggled with his approach a little bit as he's tried to change up his approach at the plate this season. And I think some time off really would help him. I think they've got the day off tomorrow, so getting him some extra time off his feet will work wonders for him. We'll see how they decide to deploy the defense in the bottom or in the top half of the 8th. This one's grounded over to the third baseman. And did he keep his foot on the bag? He did. Brad Miller grounds out. Almost looked like a shift almost on that one. But we go to the top of the 8th, 14-1 Rangers. That's one spot I'd expect the Rangers to try to improve is that DH spot at the trade deadline. I think they're one big bat away from really having one of the best offenses in the majors. And they're doing all of this right now without Corey Seager in their lineup. I think they found something with the way they have their lineup with Travis Jankowski or Grossman in there at the 2 spot. I think when they come back from the All-Star break or from Corey Seager being injured, deploying Corey Seager in a different spot in the lineup might work out to their advantage. Maybe putting him in there at the 3 spot, putting Garcia at the 4, Lowe at the 5, Young at the 6, with having Robbie Grossman and Jankowski in that 2 spot. Or maybe they put Jankowski down there at the bottom of that lineup and get some more speed at the back half. That's how things really turned around for the Rangers when they were struggling offensively earlier this year. They got off to gangbusters against the Phillies, and then that next series they just couldn't scrape across any runs. And Bruce Bochy changed things up when they went to, I want to say, Kansas City the first time, And they put Thompson in there. They put Jankowski because they struggled defensively as well. So they put better defenders out there, sacrificed a little bit of offense, and ever since then, it's been the Travis Jankowski show. I mean, he's hitting like 309, 320, somewhere in there so far this year. He's been fantastic, and of course, putting up fantastic defense as well. And so that's kind of an advantage for a ball club when you get one of your plus defenders to really hit. That can really work out to your advantage if you're the Rangers. And so we'll see what they end up deciding to do with their lineup once they do bring back Corey Seager. But I do think they are one bat away. They've been kind of have a rolling rotation at that designated hitter spot, whether it be Mitch Garver, Brad Miller, Robbie Grossman, etc. They just could use a little bit better bat, I believe, in that spot. I think if they deploy Grossman as their fourth outfielder, mix him in there a little bit, bring in another outfielder or another bat somewhere in that lineup, somebody they can use at that DH spot, I think this lineup should work so much better. So we talked a little bit about how the Rangers could go out and get the Chris Bryant earlier this offseason, or Christian Yelich, some buy low guys. We'll see how good of a year they have going into the All-Star break, and ultimately if they're available at the trade deadline. But I'd keep your eyes peeled for that. I did some fooling around on baseballtradevalues.com just to kind of see what would happen if the White Sox fell out of contention, which it looks like they will. And so they could have a bullpen arm or two available. Cole Ragans has come in for the Rangers to kind of finish out this game. Their long reliever. He struggled his last time out due to poor usage over the past 3 weeks. He's only pitched, I believe, twice, but he was fantastic before that last outing, and really struggled in his last performance because he hadn't been used in like 2 weeks. Came into the game and just had no rhythm into the game. Looks like Sandy Leone has taken over for Jonah Heim. Brad Miller is the first baseman. A lot of changes for the Rangers as Aaron Hicks grounds out. Cole Ragans got off to such a great start to begin the year. He looked like the next big project out of that bullpen, much like they did Brock Burke last year. Got great production out of him. He's now more of their setup guy right now this year. Could end up being their closer if they don't bring in a bullpen arm. But they're hoping Cole Ragans could have a very similar arc to his career this year. Was fantastic in spring training, and so far has had just one dud of a performance. That's why his ERA is at over a 6 right now. So if they can get a couple innings here, drop that ERA to under 5, get him back to the way things should be for him, I think they'd be very happy with that. This one finds the zone at the top of the zone, and it's 1-2 now. To Volpe, who's 1 for 3 today. Had that double the last time out. Swung on and missed. Nice pitch there by Ragans, climbing the ladder on him. And Volpe is the second out of the inning. It'll be up to Peraza to continue the inning for the Yanks. Rangers 4 outs away from another victory. They would love to get the win tonight and then watch Sunday Night Baseball and see if the Phillies can pull one out against the Houston Astros. Rays continue to add on more runs against the White Sox. 7-4. Looks like the bullpen's falling apart for him. Lashed foul there. And it's quickly 0-2 now to Peraza. But as I mentioned, this game looks like it's been decided long ago. So we'll see if they're able to kind of at least keep everybody healthy the rest of the way. You don't want to have somebody get injured in a game that's pretty much been decided already. Hence the reason you're seeing the Rangers make a lot of changes with their fielding. Going with better defenders out there right now. Got their long man in there just to make sure they seal off this one good. Fastball right down Broadway for the third out of the inning. Cole Ragans works a great 1-2-3 eighth inning. It's exactly what you want to see if you're a Rangers fan right now. Looks like Josh Smith is also coming to the game for the Rangers, taking over for Adolis Garcia. He's now entered the game and gone to left field. Looks like Thompson has now gone over to right. Josh Smith will be the first up for the Rangers here in the bottom of the eighth. We'll see if they continue to trot out Ramirez or if they bring out another bullpen arm or if they go with a position player at this point. It's a 13-run game, so we'll see. But as I mentioned, the Rangers, I think, are seeing a little bit of fool's gold right now with their lineup, and I'm curious to see if how long this continues for, or if this is the way they're going to be the rest of the year. Because right now, I still think they're way above their heads offensively. Their bullpen, I still think, could use another arm. I would have loved to have seen them go out there and get Bednar from the Pirates before the season began. Obviously, they're right now leading the NL Central, so obviously that's not going to be an option. Looks like he's going to be the closer for them going forward. But they may be able to get a bullpen arm or two from the White Sox if they find one to their liking. I think Liam Hendriks would be a great option for the Rangers. Saves the White Sox bukus of money. I think he's getting $16 million. But we'll see if he's able to be healthy and how effective he is once he comes back for the White Sox, first and foremost. I think the Rangers would want to make sure he's able to perform before they decide to invest anything there. But the White Sox are probably going to be looking to save some money this year. They were pretty much right at the top of their budget when they came into the season. I was a little bit surprised they didn't try to offload Hendriks already just to kind of save some money. But I think they're absolutely going to be trying to offload a bunch of salary as we get closer to the deadline. If Clevenger can hold it down in the rotation, maybe they can flip him, save some money there. They can flip some bullpen arms and save some money there. 1-2 pitch now as Smith is able to lay off that one. Smith now has that flap in front of his chin after taking a ball to the chin earlier this year. Had to have multiple stitches in his face. Another one low and away, and it's 2-2. Ramirez is out for the 8th inning here. Gotta imagine if he starts getting knocked around here, we'd probably see a position player. But he's only at 21 pitches, so Yankees hoping that he can get through this one without giving up any further damage. Right on the outside corner, I mean, just off the plate, Smith has a good eye. And he probably would have gotten the call with the robo-umps, but this late in the game, that close of a pitch, you got to foul that one off, my friend. Ump's going to call that one a strike 9 times out of 10, even if it is just a hair off the plate. One thing I will say for Ramirez, after he came in and surrendered all the runners that he had on base, he's pitched well. He's thrown strikes, and that's something that the other Yankees pitchers cannot say. Cortez did not throw strikes today. Abreu struggled with the strike zone and command at some points. Young hammers this one out to left. Another home. Oh, is it a home run or is it off the top of the wall? Looks like it's off the top of the wall, but he's in there with a double. He did not miss that one by much. Did it hit the yellow line? Just looking at it again here. Looks like he was a little out in front, but he got a good swing, put a nice charge on it. Off the bat, it looked like it was probably going to be gone. No, it was below. It hit off the Texas Rangers Heart Foundation logo. Okay. All in all, though, a good swing. Sandy Lone hammers this one into left, and this one goes all the way to the wall. Another run will score. It's going to be 15-1. An extra base hit again for the Rangers, this time for their backup catcher, Sandy Leone, doing his best to stay on this roster right now. He's performed well. I mean, he's never been known for his bat, but with that swing, he raises his average by almost 60 points. Hasn't had a lot of playing time, so he's got almost zero consistent at-bats, which is really tough for anybody, especially going up against Major League pitching. Raises his average to 214. That one well inside to Ezekiel Duran. And I'm wondering if Ramirez is running out of gas. This one's lifted into short right. Making the play, though, is Calhoun, who's come into the game as a defensive replacement. And it'll be Bubba Thompson looking for his first hit of the game. He's probably had the worst offensive performance today for the Rangers. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. Thought he could be a really good fourth outfielder for the Rangers to start the year, but he's really struggled with the playing time that he's been given so far this year. And he's kind of in that kind of a 4-player mix for 2 spots with Miller, Grossman, Jankowski, and Thompson. Right now I'd say he's probably the third option out of those 4, Miller being the fourth. But his speed and defensive ability out there is probably the biggest reason why he's still on this roster. Rodriguez is loosening for the Rangers. Yuri Rodriguez called up for the Rangers with the DeGrom injury. Ground ball to short, and Thompson is retired. Curious to see how many more opportunities Thompson gets, but his defensive ability probably going to keep him on the roster for at least a couple more weeks. But his bat's going to have to start coming around. Rangers do have a couple of really good outfield prospects coming. Evan Carter, Aaron Zavala. Evan Carter right now is knocking the cover off of everything. He could be the next big Rangers call-up that they have. They view him as an even better player than Josh Young, and we saw him hit a grand slam earlier today and a double to left there just a moment ago. We go to the ninth. It'll probably be Yuri Rodriguez pitching for the Rangers here. A little bit surprised they don't just try to finish it off with Cole Ragans. But a good performance by Cole Ragans. Maybe they just want to leave that in his mind. And they do go with Rodriguez. Especially with lefty, righty. I thought the Rangers would have left Ragans out there. Since he is a left-handed pitcher. Rodriguez, the right-handed pitcher. They may pitch hit for Rizzo here. Give somebody else an at-bat. Willie Calhoun, the former Ranger, came over in that Yu Darvish trade with the LA Dodgers years ago. Things ended badly for him with the Rangers. Had some words to say about the Rangers front office as he was leaving, or before he left. And then didn't endear himself to many front offices around the game with the comments that he had for John Daniels. I know there are a fair share of Rangers fans out there that don't necessarily have the kindest thing to say for John Daniels, but the man did lead them to 2 World Series appearances. The best era of Texas Rangers baseball ever, and he did a great job taking a team that could only hit, didn't pitch at all, and didn't have much of a future for their pitching staff, to really getting them to have some consistent starting pitching with literally one trade, that Mark Teixeira trade, that really set up their future with Elvis Andrus, Matt Harrison, Neftali Feliz, and then he continued that success, bringing in a Texas Rangers Hall of Famer, Adrian Beltre, kind of keep that progress going, and then that Cole Hamels trade that he made. Well, it didn't really work out for both sides. That was kind of the beginning of the end for the Rangers at that time. Yu Darvish, one of the greatest international free agent signings ever in baseball history, as far as pitchers are concerned, especially for the Texas Rangers. Really gave them a number 1 when they needed one. Rodriguez finds the strike zone against Rizzo. 0-1. But Willie Calhoun on his way out the door, not very complimentary about his opportunity to play. I mean, he took a ball off the face as well in spring training one year that really derailed him when it looked like he was coming in hot to start the season and looked like he was in line to be the starting left fielder for the Rangers that year. But took a fastball off the face, missed a couple of months, and just looked like it took him time to get back in control of his own emotions at the plate to kind of stand in the batter's box again. Took him about a year to get over it, just to be able to stand in the batter's box and not flinch every time a pitch was thrown on the inner half of the plate. Ground ball up the middle. Duran is easily able to put it away, and it's 1 away here in the top of the 9th. Yuri Rodriguez gets his first out recorded. Rangers deciding to go with more of a long man out of that bullpen with DeGrom out. I imagine Dane Dunning is going to take the spot for DeGrom in the rotation while he is on the injured list. Royals scratch across a couple in the 9th against the Twins. Still have a couple runners on. Twins don't want to cough up a game against the Royals they clearly had in hand, so keep your eyes peeled for what happens there. We've already seen one comeback today by the Mariners against the Blue Jays. Giants lead the Padres 2-0 in the bottom of the third there. Nice pitch by Rodriguez, jams Calhoun on an 0-2 pitch, and Young makes a nice leaping catch. Didn't have to jump too high, but is able to make the play. Yankees down to their final out. It'll be Gleyber Torres, who's 0 for 3. See if he's gearing up for that first pitch fastball once again. Well off the plate, 86 mile an hour off speed. Good to have a veteran catcher like Leon back there to handle a young pitcher like Rodriguez. Even with the game well decided, you want to make sure that he's able to execute the pitches and have a successful outing here in his season debut. 1-1. The pitch lifted foul, and the Yankees are down to their final strike. Rangers 1 strike away from getting a series victory over the Yankees in this 4-game stretch. The set by Rodriguez. And the pitch. This one's tapped down the first base line, foul. And we'll do it again very late on that swing. Kind of poked it with the end of his bat. 1-2 again. The set and the pitch. Low and away, well outside the zone, 2-2. Just want to throw some strikes here if you're Rodriguez. You don't want to walk anybody this late in the game. Not with a 14-run cushion. The set and the pitch. Fouled off the catcher. Torres says, "My bad, man. Didn't mean to foul that off of you with 14-run deficit." Can't exactly control where it goes foul, but good on Torres for the sportsmanship. The 2-2 once again. This one tapped over the mound. Duran unable to flag it down. Making a bang-bang play at first base, it would have been anyway, but kind of waved at it with his glove. Not sure if he would have been able to throw out the runner at first base anyway, but that'll go as an infield single, I'm sure. And the inning is extended a little bit here. Cabrera will be next. Started the game in right, took over at first base with all the defensive switching that they did. This one's right at the bottom of the zone, just beneath the zone though, and it's ball 1. Rangers 1 out away from a series victory that they desperately need after getting swept by the Cincinnati Reds. Yanks look like they're going to have a 3-game losing streak going into their next series. And no Aaron Judge right now for them, so they got to weather this storm as best they can. The 2-0 pitch here to Cabrera. Right down the middle and fouled off the mask of Leon. 2-1. Again, this late in the game, you just want to see strikes thrown by Rodriguez if you're a Rangers manager. Show that you can execute the game plan and try to stay on this big league roster. The set and the pitch. Just off the outside corner and again missing there. 3-1 now. He still hasn't walked a batter, but again, you don't want to see a walk here in the 9th, up by 14. It is his debut of the season, so we'll see if he's able to settle down. This one well outside, and that's ball 4. Leon telling him to calm down. You can tell he's a little amped, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is due next. If you're Rodriguez, you just want to get out of this inning without allowing a run to score, and then hopefully your next outing can be a little bit better than this one. This one misses outside. Leone telling him to calm down. Again. Can understand the nerves, though, for Rodriguez. The Rangers do have a loaded pitching staff right now as far as number of quality arms. Some of them a little bit more high quality than others. But it's not exactly going to be, every day you're going to get an opportunity like this, so you want to be able to perform. Rangers have a number of starting pitchers at the minor league level that can always be called up should they have injuries in their starting staff. They have a number of long relievers that can be put in that starting rotation should they need to. Rodriguez being one of the first guys they call up this season says a lot for how the Rangers view him. This one's fouled back and it's 1-2. So you don't want to miss your opportunity when you get it. Cole Ragans trying to pick up on something between the conversation of Perez and Garcia. The 1-2 pitch. Lifted foul again. And we'll do it again. I think best case scenario for Rodriguez is he pitches well today, or at least closes it down. And then while DeGrom is on the IL, that he continues to put up zeros on the scoreboard. And then eventually when DeGrom is ready to come back, and Seager's ready to come back, they move out one of, Kennedy or Spores, and he stays on the Major League roster. I think that's best case scenario for Rodriguez. This one's grounded into right, coming up, throwing into second is Thompson, and runner does stop at third. So station to station running there. It's a 14 run game, so no reason to send the runner there. Hard hit ball against Rodriguez. Leone's going to go out to the mound along with Mike Maddox to calm him down. That's IKF's second hit of the ball game today. It'll be up to Higashioka. Yankees trying to scratch across another run. Best they've looked in 4 innings right now. You can tell the nerves are all over Rodriguez's face right now. He's breathing hard. He's up to 23 pitches. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact of how many pitches he's thrown. I think it's more to do with his debut here. Getting those nerves under control. We like to see young guys succeed no matter where they are, which team they're for. You just want to see them be able to get their feet wet in the big leagues and have a successful outing or two. Very difficult task to even become a big leaguer, let alone succeed. So when one finally gets an opportunity, you want to see them at least get their feet wet and see if they can hold down the opportunity. That one misses outside, 1-1. That slider looks like he's struggling to command so far. That one's a much better slider. Gets the swing on it, says the home plate umpire. Looks like it was just a hair off the corner, but at this stage of the game, I'm wondering if the umpire's just being a little bit more friendly to the young guy. 1-2. Another one just off the corner. This one a little further outside. 2-2. Pretty good pitch, though. A lot more competitive than that other one. Rockies 12-1 now on top of the Diamondbacks. Ouch. The 2-2 here by Rodriguez. Off the outside corner again. Rodriguez thought it was strike 3. It wasn't that close. I think he wanted it more than anything else, just to kind of end this inning. Runners will be off with the pitch. Rodriguez shaking his head a little bit. I don't think there's anybody loosening out there in the bullpen, though. And that one's ball 4. Walks in a run. That is not what you want to see if you're the Rangers. Struggling with command, a couple of walks in the inning. And what looked like a promising start to his day. Now he's going to end up in the pitching coach's office after the game, I'm sure. A 14-run lead, and you just need to throw strikes, my man. Aaron Hicks, who's had a decent day at the plate, 2 for 3, takes a strike at the bottom of the zone. 30th pitch of the inning for Rodriguez. Another one down low, 1-1. Doesn't look like nerves are a factor anymore for him. It just looks like he's just missing with his stuff at this point. So one thing Rangers pitching coach does not want to see is walks. This one's right down Broadway, fouled back by Hicks, and it's 1-2. Let's see if he can put this one away. That first performance of the year, can only imagine the butterflies he felt coming out, even with a 14-run lead. It is the Yankees at the plate. It's never easy, but you'd still like to see better production. Gets the swing on that one. Check swing, he did go around. Rodriguez finally gets the out, and the Rangers win 15-2. Well, that was an interesting game for both sides. Cortez, they hoped to get a little bit more length out of him to begin the game, but grand slam in the first by Young. And the 8 walks through the middle part of the game. Let's see what the Rangers ended up with in the game today. They do finish the game with 8 walks today. That's kind of the story of the game. The walks and then the home runs for the Rangers, and then they just pulled away in the 5th and 6th inning. Scored 4 in the first, 4 in the 5th, 6 in the 6th inning. That really kind of pushed this game out of reach. And Perez was very effective today. Only threw 70 pitches to get through 6 innings. He was fantastic. Cole Ragans, Ian Kennedy came on. They were good. And then Yuri Rodriguez came in and kind of shut things down, get his Major League debut today as well. You can see the record right now. Martin Perez goes to 4-1, a 2.41 ERA. Kind of doubles down on what he did last year as far as how good of a year he had last year. Cortez drops to 3-2, a 4.91 earned run average today. That ERA really jumping up. So we'll see how the Yankees really solve their starting rotation issues the rest of the season. Very curious to see how this lineup kind of solves their issues as well. But overall, just a very one-sided game, if you will. Just kind of looking at the scoreboard, you can kind of see the numbers there. The only run they scored was while the game was competitive anyway, was in that 3rd inning. Had a runner thrown out at home in the 4th. That kind of really swung the momentum. And then again in the 5th inning, when the Yankees were up to bat again, they got the first 2 runners on, and then promptly, only a 4-pitch inning that inning for Perez, even with 2 base hits in the inning. He got a pop out and then a double play to kind of end it, and that was the last time the game was really competitive. Overall, just a great day for the Rangers offensively. Good day on the mound for them as well. Would have liked to see them get Yuri Rodriguez a little bit better in the strike zone to kind of round things out. That was the only one blemish on the record I could see from the Rangers. Martin Perez had some issues with command in the 3rd and 4th, but kind of was able to kind of get things back on track in the 5th and 6th. He probably could have gone another inning or 2 in this game, maybe 3, gotten another complete game if this game was still close. But overall, Rangers were able to save his arm a little bit for later in the season and able to get some guys at the back end of the bullpen who had rough experiences the last couple times out in Ian Kennedy and Cole Ragans back on the right track, and then the Major League debut for Yuri Rodriguez. So overall, just a great day for the Rangers, or at least Major League season debut for Yuri Rodriguez anyway. But overall, just a great day for Rangers all the way around. They look like they're going to have the Angels lose, I think, to the Brewers right now. I can't remember what the score is, but let's check and see. Go to MLB.com and check in on some of those scores. Washington is winning 7-1 against Pittsburgh. Rays are winning in the top of the 9th, 8-5 over the White Sox. Colorado 12-1 over the Diamondbacks. Giants 4-0 over the Padres. Oakland's winning 3-1 over the Reds. Cards 2-1 over the Dodgers right now. Hello, computer. But anyway, so that's kind of where things stand right now. I was wanting to see the Angels score right now. But anyway, as I mentioned, we will be live for you guys tonight on Game 7, Kraken versus the Avalanche. So join us then. I think the game starts at around 8:30. So we'll see if we'll start that probably around 8:15, 8:20. So make sure you join us tonight. Hit that like and subscribe. We'll try to do some more lives for you guys this week for baseball as well. Appreciate you guys. Hit that subscribe and like button. Make sure you join us. We cover Major League Baseball, the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL. But we'll see you guys later on this evening. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you then.